D-line.
The D-Line. Disruption Network's weekly football podcast. With your host, Chicken.
I will say, one of the greatest games I've seen this year.
Caleb.
There was no takeaways from that game. I mean, the takeaways were that we should have changed the channel early in the night.
And Phil.
Just fucking tit for tat, going back and forth, just a battle.
Wow, we're just not having a good night already.
Wow. We're here. I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Here we are.
Welcome to the D-Line.
17 minutes late. I don't think this breaks our career high.
No.
But I want to say we might have gone a half an hour one time, but, you know. Hey.
Funny thing is, we were just getting ready to go. I'm like, all right, we're ready to go. And then all the computers shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like,
Chicken kicked the power strip. Really.
What it was.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
gentlemen, welcome.
back. Welcome to the D-Line. Joining me as always is Caleb and Sil.
Yo.
I'm here.
Yeah, we all went down to the Varick for
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. I didn't make it.
Most of us went down to the
Gentlemen, I got caught up in my my activity on my Monday night activity. All right, my Monday night pitch game, and then by the time I was done, it was. What do you say?
You didn't miss much.
No, I
did not
didn't.
miss much.
I didn't. I mean, the only saving grace would have been that I could have stuffed my face in sorrow, you know, with the wings. But
The wings were frigging delicious. I gotta tell you that.
As always, down at the Varick. All right.
We're still not. I still can't see us on Facebook.
We're there.
there.
You're just are you on the D-Line page?
I'm on the Disruption Network page.
I'm watching it right from the D-Line.
right.
Disruption Network.
All right. Well, hey, at least we are here. So there you go.
You say we're there. We're there.
You don't see us?
I'm just hitting refresh. No.
Oh my God. Listen to you two.
Yeah, that game was bad.
Man, it's
It ended up being 33-0.
33-0. They did not even score.
Wow.
I mean, the only saving grace of the night. It's like one of those like matchups. This is one thing I hate about like playing fantasy sports. And it's the fact that it's okay. I have the Patriots defense in my fantasy team, my season-long fantasy team, and it's like okay, they scored 29 points, but they just crushed the Jets. You know, so that's the tough part about fantasy sometimes is when you're watching your favorite team. You know, and the fantasy implications come involved. And at 33-0 game, you might as well just take the wins where you can get them at that point. It was an ugly night. It was ugly all around for the Jets. I'm very. I mean, if you guys don't mind, we can go right into the first topic. And I think the first topic, we'll talk about two coaches that should be on
Sure,
the
you
hot
don't want
seat.
to focus on that.
I mean, I know last week you
Are you
couldn't
sure?
wait to talk about the Jets, and now
No,
we're giving you that
no.
opportunity.
I mean, no. I want to. No, and that's the thing, and that's where I want to go with it because I want to talk about Adam Gase.
I mean, Sam Darnold and
This team-
50 yards and
It was bad. He was seeing ghosts, but he was getting.
6 point something completion percentage. I'm not even sure
He had
anymore.
a 3.6 passer rating.
Yeah, it was,
at one point.
That's what
They just look unprepared. They don't look prepared. The Patriots defense was running wild on them. If you watch so many times, ESPN does that view kind of behind the quarterback in a replay, which I kind of appreciate when it gets to that replay point. I hate when they go away from the sideline view when you're just trying to watch the game, but they get behind the quarterback, and there was times where I just watched. He was running for his life, and fuck NFL Films for allowing out what they allowed out with the whole ghost comment. All right. He said he was seeing ghosts. He literally said he was seeing ghosts. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. And they should not have let that out. The Jets were very pissed about that. It put him in a bad light. I heard there was reports after the game that Darnold was just unconsolable almost at his locker. That fucking idiot Gase was seen really kind of take a moment with him in his locker after the game.
He had that Eli Manning stare.
Yeah,
going
man,
on.
he was glazed.
You mean that?
He was glazed.
That kind of look.
Yeah, he was so glazed over it wasn't even funny. I mean, Adam. I don't think it would be the first time in history that a coach lasted 6 or 7 games, but I would have fully been on board if the Jets had fired him.
Yeah, Adam Gase does not belong here anymore. I mean,
No.
they weren't. It just looked like they weren't
ready.
You know, and
Bad.
the problem that they're having too is you bring in. Here's the other problem too. So you're relying so heavily on Lev Bell. Okay, you watch these teams. You watch it from the Jets' first possession. You watch a lot of other teams. They go out in that first possession. They get real creative. They start really bringing out those scripted first 12 plays. But go ahead.
What I noticed a lot was the pressure just right in Darnold's face.
Yeah,
that's what they did. I mean, just like the teams used to do against Rex Grossman. It's just right up the middle, right in his face, forced him to throw an errant pass, and that's what it looked like. So he was just trying to get rid of it, but he kept it in the field of play. If he got it more off to the right, to his strong side, he might have been able to avoid at least 2 of those interceptions. But
it's just
he'll learn.
Yeah,
he's young. He'll learn from this. He's got to.
This is why a hire like this is so important when you're talking about grooming a young quarterback. We spoke about this when they hired Gase. When you're trying to groom a young quarterback, that's the ultimate, hire. It makes you think what Frank Reich could have been if he had played the Jets. Because, he could have, would have, should have with a lot of guys, But, there's guys that are having success with quarterbacks in this league. Adam Gase hasn't done that.
Yeah, but, let's slow down a little bit. I mean, they just beat the Cowboys last week. I mean, they haven't shown much in the beginning of the season. But, Darnold was hurt, and they are a different team when Darnold's there or not.
Of course.
But they just played the Patriots. The Patriots got a great defense. They got a stellar offense. It's the system, as someone likes to refer to them as, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, getting destroyed by the Patriots is I don't know, getting dumped by Pam Anderson. It's just kind of it's expected.
But here's the thing too that kind of drives me crazy, chicken, about what you're saying too, is they just don't look like they're prepared. It's just ding and dunk, nothing, no excitement. You've got a guy, Jamison Crowder's a very exciting player. I remember he was very exciting when he was in Washington. He's kind of that playmaker type, that if you Tyreek Hill will, kind of this player that can kind of go out and he can make different things happen on the screen. He can be a threat over the middle. You get a trick play involved with him. And it's stagnant. It's a stagnant offense. And you're every time, Utica Club, it's a stagnant offense. And you come out in the first 3 plays of the game, you fucking just run it right up the middle of Lev Bell. You don't think they think that's coming? You don't think could you mix Ty Montgomery in for a couple carries? Could you mix another, Trenton Cannon in for a couple carries?
He's the guy you want to put the game on his back right now.
Yeah.
You don't want it on Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
You just want to help Sam Darnold out with a strong run
Right.
game.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that game plan.
And run leads
right with it.
and run leads to the pass. I genuinely am a believer in that. One leads to the other. They work hand in hand.
This exact topic is going to come up very strongly later when we talk about the Bears
Oh,
game.
yeah. I might go on a little rant with that one, too.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, we're starting to see that a little bit of an inability here to control this locker room from Gase too. So you've got this Kalichi Assimile, their starting left guard, who they brought in this year, made a trade with the Redskins or the Raiders for, is now fighting the claims of 2 of the team doctors that says he does not need surgery and that his shoulder should be healthy and just with a little bit of rehab and he could play. The team wants him at the practice facility. He's not showing up. He wants to get surgery. Basically, he's packing it in for this season, obviously. We said it earlier before we got on the air. He is literally packing it in. He knows where this team is going. But from that to early in this season, Jamal Adams, the comments he was making, and Gase is not keeping these things under control. He's not keeping the Sam Darnold thing with the comments with NFL Films under control. It all goes back to him. He is the leader of the ship, and he is, I believe, one of the biggest problems right now.
Dave Bandage checking in.
Oh, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
Yes.
And I was waiting I knew he was going to say something about this. I knew it. He's like, Pam Anderson, what's the matter? Cheryl Teague's just a little too old to reference. Well, after the whole Quagmire thing,
Jesus Christ. Well, let's get to the other coach, too, that I believe should be on the hot seat. I think his has got to be the hottest seat, and I have no idea how he still even has a job, and that's Dan
Jason
Quinn.
Garrett.
Your favorite. It's Dan Quinn. I don't know how he made it out last week. I don't know how, after just getting shellacked, and this team is just,
Matt Ryan's injured.
Man, it's not going. I mean, you make a big trade this week. You help the Patriots just get that much better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting that Dan Quinn still has a job. I mean, 38-10, they lost this.
I mean, they're staring at another loss with the game they got this week. It's not looking good for them at all anytime soon.
No, and you're playing, and you were also.
Do you make that change with the type? Do you really think a change of coach, just for the Falcons? I'm not talking any other team. I'm not talking overall. Just with the Falcons. Do you think changing the coach is going to change the dynamic of the team that they're going to win?
No. but I'm still doing it. I think I'm still doing it from a simple fact of keeping players and coaches on. Just holding them to accountability and maybe at least firing them up a little bit. If you're just telling them that you're ready to roll over and take it, then
see,
go ahead.
I kind of feel like it could change the team and change the whole dynamic of that team. Getting rid of the head coach. And bringing up another guy. Usually, what happens is they hire from within,
right?
For
Yeah,
an interim coach. We've seen some interim coaches do really well. Like Singletary became an interim coach,
right.
And
well, right now, Bill Callahan with the Redskins. That team, I saw any change would make a difference. With as bad as the O-line is in Atlanta, do you really think changing a head coach is going to make a difference? I still think whoever they fucking put, they could put Jay Christ in number 40 back there at quarterback, and he's going to get killed.
Yeah, but you and I both worked for we both played for a similar coach.
All right. From a similar town in a similar city.
that was, in my opinion, a terrible head coach.
Right.
Like if you made a mistake, he would wait like 3, 4, 5 plays later and start yelling at you and be like, well, you made a mistake then. And I'm like, well, tell me then so I can correct it. And his messages weren't really clear to the players. And he was just basically out of touch. I mean, he was a lot older and the players a lot younger.
Right.
And I just felt wasn't a good fit. But, some of the guys that we had on that, other coaches like Zig and a few others.
Right.
That could have stepped up and I think could have changed that whole dynamic of that team. So you don't know, like maybe the coach is just overwhelmed and doesn't know,
I think Dan Quinn's checked out.
Yeah, and then I think like if you got a young
just looks
assistant
like
coordinator or a D coordinator or something like that. And
I guess
the
we'll
players
see,
rally around.
I guess I think they're so bad off in certain situations. I don't think it matters who.
You let them finish it out.
Yeah,
and fire at the end.
Well, that's the thing. You've got to look at it from a business standpoint. If I make the change, are we going to at least win 3 games, or are we still going to just lose right down the line?
Yeah,
but then you're also sending a message. Hey, we're looking for applications.
Well, you're sending that message on the day after. The last game of the season, you're sending the same message. Now, okay, let's say they want to get a jump on the head coach's hiring list. They want to get a jump. All right, well, then you do it week 16. You let them know, hey, you don't have to finish out the season.
Yeah.
But right now, do you need to make that change? I normally say yes. But the Falcons, I just don't feel it's going to shake the house like it did with the Redskins.
Dave's saying Tyrod and Baker were getting murdered before Hugh and Haley got canned. Changes in schemes led to much better protection and results.
I agree.
I also think too another reason I haven't looked too deep into Atlanta about this. I don't believe that they do because I think they're both former head coaches that are both their coordinators. But sometimes you can go to that fact of, is it time to maybe see if this team can be remotivated by a voice that could potentially be our head coach. That's something that I could see going on.
I could agree with that. That I could get behind.
Keep that voice going. Get ready.
If the rhetoric is stale.
Yeah.
Then yes, bring in a different coach who's going to come in and who's going to be strong, opinionated, and maybe get a better message out there.
And you and I,
again, I totally didn't even think about what if he comes in and says, what, our current scheme isn't fucking working. Let's change
scrap it.
And you and I know a lot of these players. They're a little closer to their coordinator. So like the defense obviously is closer to the D coordinator and whatnot. And I feel like when they pull for that guy, you know what I mean? So like when that guy, if that D coordinator or the O coordinator, the guys that they rally behind, that they like, becomes an interim coach, I think it brings up the whole team and they play a little bit harder.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
It just would. I'm thinking Cincinnati and Atlanta, both of their, and now the Bears, their offensive lines are porous. They're very, very bad.
Yeah.
And it's like the Bengals changed head coaches. And I'm not exactly sure of how many offensive lineman rotation they've had, but nothing's changed over there.
They've scrap heaped every offensive lineman they could.
With Bears this year, they've got a few different offensive linemen, and they're not working out. I thought the tackles were bad last year. Now pretty much we got a guard that's bad, and still both tackles are bad. So where's my point? I'm just,
reinventing the team.
Maybe I'm too focused on Quinn. He took the team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
His message was relevant at one point in time. I'm not willing to give up on him yet, but something does need to change. Maybe you gotta get a fucking Bob Wiley type offensive line coach
or do you do
in
just,
there.
Do you do just the opposite? Keep Quinn, and he has to like revamp that whole his coordinators. We've seen that happen before too.
I think he's had to he's had to do that because his coordinators have all left for other jobs, and he's brought guys back. So
fire a coordinator.
Where does it put on the GM? When does the GM have to look?
That's
at
another good point. That's another good point too. And the appealing thing about this job is that you have Matt Ryan, who's a top 10 quarterback in this league. Okay, they've committed to win. They've committed to win with Julio Jones signing a long-term deal.
Yeah.
You have Kelvin Ridley, who's a piece. You have Austin Hooper as a piece. The biggest crime, I think, this year has been the misuse of Devontae Freeman, okay? And you have him as a piece. Edo Smith, their backup running back, is another piece that's going to, I think, get a big contract a la Tevin Coleman. So you've got the pieces there. So you rebuild that offensive line, okay? And you just go full bore help on defense. And shit, you got a team that could go right back to that Super Bowl.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of the Falcons to really comment on what I'm about to say, but I'm going to anyways because shit, who cares? Are they giving enough run support to make the pass a viable option? Or are they just like the Bears, passing 50 fucking times and only running 5 times a game?
Yeah.
That don't even get me started.
They love. I mean, they're definitely pass. They're definitely pass heavy, but it's just. I mean, with those guys, you have, But here,
that might be why he's running for his life all the fucking time because teams know he's going to pass, so we're just going to tee off on him. I mean, you're not giving yourself a fucking breathing chance.
Yeah, it's open season at that point. So
that's on the head coach then. Then yes, if that's his fucking choice, you fire his ass.
We could also see. I could also very well see too. I don't believe. Judging by their 1-6, we're in week 8, so Atlanta hasn't had their bye. So that also is another time. That's a popular time to look for a coaching change, and a big positional change or a coaching change in the NFL is going into your bye week. Right. A little bit more time to institute things. So
when is their bye week? Their bye week is next week. Oh well, then I guess we'll.
So if this is going to be a shit show this week, we're going to see what's going to happen there. So. Let's.
Well, we had a few trades.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let's talk some trades.
We haven't even gotten to the biggest news of them all. I mean, with the Mahomes injury.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Caleb started that earlier.
Yeah.
Madden's curse.
There we go.
Again.
Yeah, the Madden curse. I mean, when that injury happened, when I heard dislocated knee, that's usually thinking ligament damage.
I thought it was so cool that they showed us just. Pop it right back in.
Yeah, you would, you sick fuck.
Oh, man, that fucking hurts. Mm-hmm. But he walked off, and as he's walking off, I'm thinking, oh, man, he's going to get back in that locker room, and it's going to swell up like a fucking cantaloupe.
Yeah.
I thought he was done for the year. Like when I
did too.
They were like, "Oh, he's done for the year." I'm like, "Oh man, what a break!" That just shakes up the entire league.
It's just bad for the NFL. It's not even that it's just like okay, it shakes up the NFL. It's just bad for the NFL. I mean, Pat Mahomes has been awesome.
I feel like Pat Mahomes is the Steph Curry.
You
of
guys
the
are on
NFL.
first name basis now.
Yeah,
he's the Steph Curry of the NFL. Like he looks way smaller than he should be out there. But he's a lot tougher than I think people give him credit for.
Superstar, man.
He's definitely a superstar.
They're starting to call into question. Oh, should you have made put him who he is, have him do a QB sneak? Fuck yes, you do.
Absolutely.
He's a durable fucking player, man.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
ridiculous.
Andy Reid is like he stated. He's like you never really get hurt on a play.
That's
like
a
that.
1 in a fucking million play.
You're a football player.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got me. And what he does, the running around he does, a quarterback sneak is the least amount of contact he's going to get.
49-and-a-half-year-old Tom Brady still in QB sneaks. Jesus fucking Christ.
If you can't do it, then you shouldn't play the position either.
Right.
Fuck that. You know, like that's what I'm saying. I hate that shit. It's
I
all.
heard that bananas. I almost fucking lost my fucking.
It's a talking point. I mean, Stephen A. Smith probably needed an hour to talk about something.
Right.
That's probably what
but
it
here's
was.
the thing. They question
Fucking
that.
prick.
They don't question about old ass Tom Brady going out for a pass in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine if somebody was right there, they would have clocked him and like rang his bell, and then now your 45-year-old quarterback is on the bench.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it just
with a hair lip.
I don't know. New England's too good for stuff like that. But
Mahomes,
let's get some love to Matt Moore. Yeah, he came in, did a steady job. I'm like, who's this quarterback?
Matt Moore's always just been so steady. How much that guy's probably made $50 million in his career.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like just being a backup, being serviceable backup though. You know, it seems like obviously if you get this many contracts, you're good in the quarterback room. You're a teacher.
He's from Miami. He played in Miami, right?
Played everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, he played in Detroit, I believe.
Oh my god, who didn't play in Detroit? All right.
But he's always been on like some pretty lousy teams.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, he's always been that guy to just have to wear it, kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick has been to at times in his career. You know, just go in and take the licks.
Yep.
So, but the thing with Pat Mahomes is, you know, it went from for me when I saw the injury, I'm like, I had the same reaction you did. Oh fuck, he's done. And then I heard dislocated knee, and the thing that you don't realize about that, one of my buddies was texting me. I bust his balls because he's got him on his fantasy team, so I got to shoot him the text like, seems like the year might be done, you know. And he texts back. He's like, "Oh, it's only a dislocated. They've seen the ligaments." I'm like, "Dude, there is no way if he dislocated his knee, the swelling would be down enough for you to get a good picture of the ligaments."
That's what I thought. I'm like,
There's no way.
They're gonna have to wait at least a couple of days, but they did the
Yeah.
MRI the next day, so that means it didn't swell up that bad.
Yeah.
So that means there's no damage whatsoever. Best possible scenario for the Chiefs. They really lucked out. On
Yeah,
this one.
and he was out, and he was throwing this week. I think he was doing individual drills and just throwing. I don't get your hopes up for this weekend.
Ooh, they got the Packers. Oof.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it's
Now, that game, I would have really loved to see a healthy Mahomes play against Aaron Rodgers. I think that would have been a really good, fun game.
really surprised it's not in Green Bay like every other fucking game.
Yeah, I know, right?
quietly too. That 8 p.m. start does work out for him too, especially in Kansas City. So it's not going to be like it'll be a nice climate. You know, for him, for the D and stuff like that. So that's something to think about. And also, too, just gives them that much longer to figure out. You know, it gives them. It's not going to sound like a lot, but it's eternity in sports, and that's 3 hours. It gives them an extra 3 hours to have to make the decision on whether he's going to be active or not.
Our buddy
So.
Eddie Alsheimer,
Eddie!
EJA Moving Services, checking in. What's up, Eddie? He's a Giants fan, I believe.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And he goes, I go, oh, I thought you were a Bills fan. He goes, well, I like the Bills too. I'm like, so you're a Bills fan this year.
Exactly. So let's talk about these trades. Big trade for the New England Patriots this week, getting Mohamed Sanu for a second-round pick. Heavy price.
Well, that was really brilliant of them, knowing that they were going to put Gordon on the IR.
Yeah.
And to jump the gun and get Sanu like that.
And that's why they constantly have a great team.
Yeah.
Set the line right now for the last 7 weeks that they play games.
Who's the
set the
GM
line
over
at 2.5? Bill.
He does the
Yeah.
I had to figure like
Set the line at 2.5 touchdowns Sanu throws for. He's going to use him. Josh McDaniels is going to go trigger happy with this fucker. Sanu was a quarterback in college as well, just like Edelman. Actually, the best passer rating on the Patriots right now belongs to Mohamed Sanu. So that's it. There's your interesting John Silberth fact of the day.
See, what I really liked from this past week's game, just to waste more fucking time, Bill Belichick, did the whole fucking instead of getting a delay a game, what do you do? He hit a false start.
He wanted to delay a game because they were punting inside the 40, and he wanted to delay a game. Gase declined it, so then he had 2 offensive linemen just jump.
Right, but it kept the clock running.
Cracking a smile.
And it was just fucking brilliant. He's took advantage of another loophole, and people are saying, "Oh, he's cheating," and blah blah. No, the fucking league left that loophole there. He's taking advantage of it. That's what brilliant coaches do.
I feel like Bill Belichick is playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
He probably made that trade for Sanu during the game.
Yeah.
Right. He's probably on his cell phone, texting, making that trade for the old Patriots. There's a lot of old Patriots brass in Atlanta in that front office, so that probably facilitated that trade a little bit quicker too. But yeah, I mean, for Josh Gordon to go out for the season, that's a big loss for them. I mean, you now if you filled that void. But again, you turn on the Patriots. Next week Philip Dorsett will have 4 touchdowns and 850 yards catching, and
spread it around.
Then
Spread the love.
And then they're going to get Perry back to the wide receiver that they drafted in the draft this past year. So it's the Patriots, man. They haven't played
forgot about him. We haven't even seen him yet.
They haven't played they haven't even been challenged yet this year.
And don't forget, there's a chance that Gronk might be coming back towards the end of the season.
He's done. He's officially said. Yes.
He could be talked to.
And no, they were challenged. Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the Bills were the only team that really gave them a run for their money. Yeah, week 1.
But
not week 1.
I thought it was week 1.
No,
it was
my bad.
3 or 4.
They played Pittsburgh week 1.
Heard that.
It was like 3 or 4 because they were like 3-0, I think, when they met New England. But I like to see New England how they match up against like a Houston and Indy.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that it can still beat them. But I like to see like a team that a little more solid, a little more balanced than we've seen like them play. The Giants, the Jets. They just play like a lot of crappy teams, really.
Right. The Steelers you thought was going to be a good game. It ended up being a blowout. And then, hopefully the next Bills game, but it will be in New England the next time. So, will that be another close game? We don't know. But yeah, dude, Cleveland, what Cleveland's going to show up this week for the Patriots? They're really lucking out.
So now we also have another trade too. Sanders went to
Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah.
Went over to the 49ers for 3 and a 4, correct?
A 3rd and a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick, and Sanders went to the 49ers.
I like what San Fran did there. We're not looking at a guy who's still a superstar or even close to a superstar, but he's definitely
That's what they need.
Good veteran presence there.
32 years old on the last year of his deal.
So. I love that move. I think it makes complete sense. I don't think they gave up too much.
No,
but I think it interesting part to this trade too. I was reading is that this trade they agreed upon this trade, and they had initially agreed that it was going to be. Well, they didn't agree to it, but it was initially talked about that they would agree to it, put it off until after this week. Well, basically, the 49ers were like, well, we want him to play Carolina this week. So they made the trade. They moved the trade up a week. It wasn't even supposed to go through until next week.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah,
you're right there, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Jesus Christ, my apologies. But yeah, so he makes that move. It only gets them better. I think this is going to allow a player, I think, too, in Denver, like a Cortland Sutton, who's been kind of there waiting to kind of really emerge as a star wide receiver there. It's kind of his show now. And Sanders just really wasn't involved in Denver for kind of everything I had been seeing.
Yeah, he had only had like 300 and some odd yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not E-Man-esque.
Numbers. Oh, right. 30 catches, I believe.
Yeah, which are good numbers. It's serviceable.
Catch.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's serviceable. But I think this will be a great weapon for Jimmy Garoppolo.
But I'm more impressed. San Francisco being 6-0, still not. They recognize that there's a little hole in their offense. Yeah. You know what? We can do better. Mm-hmm. We're not rocking the boat by bringing him in. Yeah. We're keeping the system and the continuity that we've got, but we need a little something else.
And you don't know, there might be little chemistry issue between him and Flacco. Maybe not used properly. Like we've seen Deshaun Jackson. Mm-hmm. We thought, he's dead in the water, and then boom, he comes up and he blows up for a little while, and I think that's what you want from Sanders. You want a couple times that you can stretch the field, have a veteran guy that you could drop the ball down to, and know that he's not going to fumble. Mm-hmm. He's not going to, he's going to catch pretty much everything near him. I don't know who they really have over there now. at wide receiver in San Fran. I haven't watched a lot of their game. But name me a receiver over there.
I can't right off the top of my head.
That guy
Yeah, exactly. Like
who caught the thing.
I mean, Kittle obviously tight end. He comes to mind pretty quick, and then they're running back. I mean, that just clusterfuck of running backs that they have there too brings to my mind. But Sanders adds adds more weapons, and it just helps them get better.
it's somebody that the defense might have to double team
Exactly.
and leave somebody else open.
Like me and you and his mom.
But yeah, I thought that was a really good trade. There was two other a little bit more quiet trades this week. Detroit made a very, very weird move, especially for 2-3 in last year's division, but in a very competitive division. Trades their starting safety to Seattle. Seattle's defense only gets better. So
It's weird.
it's just
Another team, Seattle, still making moves.
interesting move.
I mean, at least trade them to a fucking team, A, not in your conference, and B, that you don't face this year. I don't understand why they could potentially playoffs see Seattle. Why would you do that?
You're talking about Detroit.
Detroit and Seattle.
Yeah, Detroit's not going to playoffs.
Well, you
Let's
never know.
face it, Detroit's not going to playoffs.
I mean, it's a tough week for Detroit too. I mean, they ship him out. They're replacing the safety is Glover. They're replacing Glover with a third-round pick in this past year's draft, and then you lose your starting running back, who Kerryon Johnson was having a good year.
Yes, he was.
He was having a very good year, and now he's out for the season. He's been IR'd. And you turn to their 6th-round pick from this past year. I believe his last name is slipping me right now, but they also have a couple other guys that were on practice squad. J.D. McKissick is there. McKissick
I'm breaking
McKissick.
balls.
I don't know what his
you
name is.
were 100% most likely right.
And then I think they brought in like a couple scrub veterans, but it's gonna it's very weird moves by a Detroit Lions team that
They did that last year, though,
two very weird moves by a Lions team that 2 weeks ago we were talking about kind of still there.
They did that
playing
last
well.
year when they traded who did they let go? Was it Taint? Golden Taint.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right in the middle.
Philly.
Yeah. And I didn't understand why make that move middle of the season, like a veteran guy like that. Like it didn't make a lot of sense. And now they do it again on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they let some defensive players go last year too. It was just like weird.
Weird moves. Oh, what was your fucking boy Harrison too? Snacks Harrison there. They traded him. Remember last year, the D tackle. That was the interesting trade. Different moves. I know this is John. This is right up your alley of shit that you hate. But we've got to talk about one other piece of news that I do want to hit before we pay the bills here is Cam Newton. Now, this was the first week, Kyle Allen, that Ron Rivera, in the time that Cam Newton's been, in quotes, injured. This was the first week that Ron Rivera came out and said that Kyle Allen will start this week. Not that Cam Newton is hurt, but Kyle Allen will start.
And they're making the right choice.
And you can't bench this kid right now. So that leads us to, we're in the quarterback situation across the league, and a very talented team that has a lot of parts around it that might need a quarterback. And the rumor that I've heard from more than one person this week is maybe a little Cam to Chicago business here.
I don't see an upgrade there. As much as experience as Cam has, we already have a quarterback who either overthrows or underthrows receivers.
And we've seen what happened when we have a bad attitude, overinflated.
Ego.
Well, I was actually thinking their salary cap. At quarterback, when we had Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler's attitude wasn't nearly as bad as Cam Newton's. Cam Newton's attitude to me is just when things are good, they're great, and he's like having fun. But once they start losing, they start doing bad. He
brings the team down.
Yeah, and then he creates division. They have not been the same team since that Super Bowl.
And now that he's got that foot injury, really, is he going to be the same quarterback? Probably
You don't
not.
know.
So really, why?
And also, let's talk about
Why?
the mental shit too that I've been saying. I think there's so screw loose in this poor guy's head.
I agree.
I think there's something going on with him. So I would.
Is he
would
on
not
the
trade.
trading block for Carolina?
I think you have to start considering that the way Kyle Allen's been playing, but you also only have a week. So could you clear him through medical procedures if that's the problem, and then trade him? I think the odds of Cam Newton, I would put it at maybe 20%. Then he gets traded.
I don't know if Chicago's the right fit.
No, here's
personality wise.
here's
like, talent wise, yeah, but personality wise, I think it caused more problems than bring.
I think he could add flair to a little bit of like juice to that offense, a little bit of like spunk, a little pizzazz to the Bears offense. But
asses and seats, yeah,
asses and seats. But this, if you're the Bears and you're sitting in that front office and you're making this decision, I would not do it.
They have to fix.
You give up on if you do that, you say to Mitchell Trubisky never started in Chicago.
And here's the thing too is like look at all the receivers that leave North Carolina. They talk shit about Cam Newton. Every single one of them. Like you might have one guy, he didn't come to me, blah blah blah. No, 3 of his top receivers once they left started trashing Cam Newton, and I mean. Everybody hates Jay Cutler. I don't hate Jay Cutler, but I definitely sometimes want to go for rounds with him because like the way he played. But you didn't hear people leaving the Bears except for Brandon Marshall saying, Jay Cutler is an asshole. Jay Cutler did this. You didn't hear that. Not as much as you're hearing about Cam Newton.
Right.
Yeah. It's an interesting I obviously Carolina so we can all 3 of us agree. Carolina cannot go back to Cam at this point. Kyle Allen's playing too well. Okay. And I don't think I don't think Chicago would be the destination. I don't really think that there's another one. But Chicago's that team that I was kind of talking about. If Trubisky, say Trubisky got hurt this week, I maybe make that move then. This is like a team that's like on the cusp. Like you could compete. You're not going to compete with Chase Daniels, okay? He's going to get you through games if he needs to, but you're not going to compete.
With Chicago, there is a serious problem. Their O-line can't hold anybody.
Yeah.
And they're not...
No, that's not true. They're holding almost every down.
They're not running the ball enough.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, come on, dude. They ran 7 times last game.
Well, how much fucking more do you want?
Yeah.
Jesus. That right there, 7 times, and you give up. And the game wasn't out of reach until,
till late third, fourth, early fourth.
Is Nagy just scared?
No, it's what I've been saying before. It's that guru thing went to his head. Now he's trying to be Andy Reid. He's trying to recreate the Kansas City offense, and he thinks his head's so filled. He thinks he's a master planner, but again, sometimes you just gotta get back to playing football. 7 rushes in one game against an NFC.
Does he call the plays? Does he call?
Yes, he calls the plays. You're not helping now. Trubisky again. He overthrows and underthrows. I'm not ignoring that, but you're not helping him a bit by only running 7 times.
Especially
you're not helping him. You're not helping. You know what his strengths are? His fucking feet. Get him out of the pocket. He's not a drop back passer yet.
And how many times did he rush?
None. He hasn't rushed all year, chicken. But not all fucking year. It's ridiculous.
We're going to use his feet, blah, blah, blah. But he never ran.
He's best when he rushes and rushes
I agree.
and rushes.
And let's not forget, Trubisky was out for almost nearly 3 weeks.
Right. So he's fucking fresh.
He's also rusty. He wasn't playing lights out before that. Let's face it.
He's fresh. Now he's rusty.
He's not fresh. He was not that good.
Hell of a take, gentlemen.
You know what I'm saying? So why are you passing? Why are you only running 7 times? You got 2 stud running backs back there. I don't care if you get 3 yards, 2 yards.
Right.
You pound the ball, and they will eventually break.
He runs once. Gets 1 yard, then he stays away from it for fucking 2 series. Then he tries. That's the way it was this past game. I'm not backing up Trubisky here. I am tired of the overthrows and the underthrows, the wide open fucking receivers. But at least help the fucking kid out. But put him in the right spot to make the right play.
And did you see towards the end of the game? And I get it. They're in pretty passive coverage when they got those garbage touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, those were totally garbage.
But here's the thing. I've noticed over the years that I've seen Trubisky play, he plays better when it's a faster pace offense. So, and it's not just that game, the garbage time, but I've seen him in other games. He plays better when he doesn't have to think and he could just react and play football. And why not go more of a no huddle?
Last year they did have
up tempo.
That's right. Last year, that's right. They did. They had more of a faster pace offense. They were getting the snap off, if I recall, with like 13 seconds to go. Now it's dude, you're fucking hoping they get it off before it hits 0-0, man.
John, it's the same. It's the same. You know, not to beat a dead horse with the Jets.
Sometimes
It's the
they
same. It's the same. It's the same thing with the Jets. I say all I heard through training camp with the Jets was, "Oh my God, all they've been doing is running this up-tempo offense. They're fucking dull to watch. It's fucking slow. It's a painful fucking death. It's a slow and painful death. I know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, run one play."
And you're in a same position because Gase was supposed to be the guru. You know, he's supposed to be Adam Gase with a great offensive mind.
Can I ask you guys this question? How do you like? So obviously, most times in the NFL, we've seen an NFL culture that's now that now guys are obviously former coordinators that become head coaches. Okay, how do you feel? I want to leave you this question. How do you feel about a head coach, whether offense or defense, calling the plays?
I'm okay with it. I mean, Mike Holmgren's was doing it forever.
Sure.
You know,
I think it depends
Andy
on
Reid
the
was
coach.
doing it forever.
Yeah.
You know,
it can be done, but I think too. I think we're in an NFL too now with all of these. I hate to equate these two together because it's kind of a stretch, but these replays, these so many little intricate things are going on during the game. I honestly, genuinely think that takes away. I think it takes away from that mentorship time. Okay, so now you've got so you do have most obviously these teams have a conventional offensive coordinator and they're talking to that quarterback still, but it's nothing like being in that game 100% if you're that offensive coordinator. I have to think it's a different feel. If ultimately it's coming from Matt Nagy's mouth, what the next play is going to be. Well, okay, you designed the game plan and all of that stuff. You scripted the first 15 plays. Beyond that, you're just kind of fucking worthless.
there for oral support.
Yeah, you know, like I'm not a huge. I don't love it, but at the same time, you then look at exactly what we've talked about before with my boy Adam Gase and your boy Loggins. They just fucking follow each other. And these guys, you know,
That's right. You got Loggins. As your fucking,
he's the OC quarterback.
that's your fucking problem right there.
God.
And so you're talking about these guys. It's like, okay,
He's on your coaching staff. It doesn't matter what he does.
It didn't fucking work. It did. Like these guys didn't work for you. I appreciate. I love loyalty. I love having that continuity with guys and having your like regime, like your boys.
Yeah, if it
But
works,
man, it doesn't fucking work.
if you
It
had
didn't work
success,
once.
I get it. You know, if you're Bill Parcells and you bring along Belichick, like I get it. You know what I mean? That's your guy. You had success. These guys have not had success.
No.
Like they were garbage in Chicago, garbage in Miami.
That's what kills me. They were mediocre in Chicago when he gets fucking hired in Miami. And we fucking got a fucking year of fucking Loggins in fucking Chicago. So then he goes over with his fucking boy in fucking Miami.
Wow,
and
that's a whole lot of effings, man.
Then they get shit canned.
Yeah.
Right? And now he's over with the Jets. And
Yeah.
they're probably going to get shit canned after this.
I think he will be fired at the end of the season. I
Yeah.
think they made a mistake. And this also goes back to Jets ownership too, making a poor decision this offseason. Having McCagnon go through the draft, having McCagnon make the next head coaching decision, and then you fire him and you bring in Joe Douglas. And now this is a team that Joe Douglas is trying to assemble through the season by picking up guys off literally. I think he's picked up 7 guys now off the Eagles practice squad because that's where he was. But you know, that's what he knows. He wasn't prepared for this job at the time he got it. It's just been a clusterfuck. Gase was a horrible hire. Okay, and I honestly think that do you guys think that let's talk about this. I think Gase is gone in New York.
Yeah.
Do you think that if Nagy has a bad year, he's gone in Chicago?
No.
I think they give him one more year.
No, he with last year's playoffs, he's got probably 2 more years. Jason Garrett at least got 4 more weeks out of beating the Eagles last week.
Yeah, but Jason Garrett's situation versus anybody else.
They fucking pummeled. Oh, too. I know we've gone way over our news time here, but our trade that broke as we came on the air. The Cowboys made a move for Michael Bennett, who couldn't keep his fucking attitude together in New England. There's a surprise.
Yep.
Was suspended. Was a healthy scratch last week. Got into a I forgot how they worded it. It was very funny. It was like controversy with his positional coach. So he basically got into it with the fucking positional coach. Didn't buy into a scheme or buy into what they were trying to do, and so they sat him.
Well, same reason why Chris Long didn't like. He got his ring and left. He didn't like being a positional player. Well, that's Bennett. When you go into that system,
Yeah.
You do your part.
Right.
You may not like your part, but guess what? You're going to get a fucking ring.
Right. You
Yeah.
got a ring. Like,
Yeah.
well, and Long got two.
Right.
But, like, he ended up going back to Philly. But I just, Bennett to the Cowboys seems like a perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Man, it's
If he gets
One more
arrested a
reason
few
for-
times, it'd be perfect. A little more, then you go to the
One more
Bengals.
reason for me to hate the Cowboys.
that D line is stacked. So, but gentlemen,
But I don't like. If I were a Cowboys fan, I would not be happy about this trade. I would not want Bennett because he is a cancer. Everywhere he goes, he creates problems. Him and his brother.
How do you fucking cause problems in the Patriots? You're fucking undefeated, and you're
pissed off. Yeah.
ruffling feathers.
Well, it's-
Are you fucking serious?
His brother came out and started trashing Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come
Yeah,
on, dude.
these guys, their shit's gonna get old pretty quick with a lot of teams, and
Well, the brother there, he retired. Right?
yeah, thank God.
Yeah, he was.
Well, dude, he got
Yes.
because he was so tall playing tight end. He got chopped down a lot. He really did. He took a beating.
Well, gentlemen, if your car's taking a beating, do you know what you should do? Stop into the showroom at 5865 Tabor Road in Rome and see why all their customers love their Nye VW. Mention Disruption Network and receive
$250 off.
any purchase. Check out their inventory at NyeVolkswagenofRome.com.
So are we moving on to?
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of maybe the games from last week.
Well,
Maybe-
we could, or we could talk about EJA Moving Company. Professional movers at 315-335-0516. Competitively priced moving. Relocation services, office moves, complete packing, and unpacking services. They work with everyone and make it simple for you to move and relocate. EJAMoving.com. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like it.
So let's take a look at some of last week's games. I mean, I think we beat the Jets to death, just like New England did.
Yeah.
And that Bears game was absolutely terrible. So we could skip over those two.
Pretty sure I had diarrhea the whole game.
Yeah, I think the whole Bears team had diarrhea all over the field. And that score, the 36-25, is definitely not.
Is not no.
No.
36-9 is more like it. That's the real score of that game.
The Seahawks Ravens. I'm surprised.
Lamar Jackson threw it on his back, took it, man.
That
Congrats,
kind of surprised me a bit. I felt like Seattle was a better overall team, and the Ravens are they're sneaking up, man.
I did not think the Ravens would take it to them. I mean, they played fucking smash mouth physical football. They really took it. They kept a high intensity the whole game. It was and Lamar Jackson, I guess, got tired of the fucking hearing the fucking shit about him and just fucking owned it. Played great.
You know, maybe sitting at the first year when he played most of the year until like last year, I think they did him some good. I mean, they went to the playoffs last year with a strong team. So now, I guess I just I haven't watched the Ravens enough to really know like their personality, and like they're starting to get that. They're starting to build one now. Again.
Good passing, great running, and seriously, him running the ball, keeping plays alive. Russell Wilson-esque. That's probably why Seattle defense had such a problem, because it was like they were playing Russell Wilson, just keeping plays alive. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to pass it. I'm gone. And he had what like an 80-yard run? I mean, he's a pleasure to see. Really.
And that last year, that's what we saw Trubisky doing, running the ball. He led the league in rush. Quarterbacks rushing,
right?
And we don't see that anymore. Now you just it's like saying Lamar Jackson, you can't run anymore. His game is going to be terrible. But that one kind of got me, especially not so much that the Ravens won, but 30-16.
Right.
That
it wasn't. It was really. It was really close, chicken at the end with 2 minutes to go. And then one of the Seattle wide receivers fumbled right with like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. He fumbled, and it was basically a fumble return for a touchdown. Other than that, it was only a 3-point game.
You know what game I did watch? I was really happy I watched it. I know I picked the Houston Texans to win, and Indy won. I can't.
Indy's got their number, man.
But both teams played great.
Yeah.
Those quarterbacks were just balling, man. Jacoby Brissett kicking ass, playing like a champ. Like
I because I picked Indy, so I was, they'd get a
Just so you know.
a 2-score lead,
dick.
and then fucking Houston would come back and score another one to keep it to 1 score. So I was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking game. It was really exciting to watch.
it was a fun game to watch
Yes.
too, and you can't say it was all offense or all defense. I mean, there's a little mixture of everything.
Yeah, and Brissett is just yay.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
Can't feel better for that guy.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Weird point, but you got to feel good too if you're like an Andrew Luck type. You got out on your own right. You didn't leave this team up the river. And I think that's something that does mean a lot to a type of guy like Andrew Luck is. He didn't. And to his credit, too, you haven't heard, and it helps Andrew Luck, I think, a lot right off into the sunset because you haven't heard the fucking murmurs. And that's what you get a lot of times when these guys retire.
They're not winning in spite of Andrew Luck.
Exactly.
They're winning because they've got a good system in place.
Yeah.
A good offense, good coaching, good running game, great defense, great offensive line. They've got all the pieces there. They picked a solid backup quarterback
And
who was a starter.
Right.
Yeah.
Brissett has been with now 3 years. Now,
Yeah.
right?
Jacoby Brissett's just been Johnny on the spot, man. He's gotten so lucky in his career with the breaks he's gotten, and he's earned them. I'm not saying these are fucking fool's gold, okay? Because
He's solid. I'm fine with him.
Yes, the 2 quarterbacks going down in New England for him to get his chance is pretty incredible, but good for him, man.
Well,
it's a lot of fucking pressure what he had to do this
You
year.
figure 2 of those quarterbacks that were ahead of him don't have losses right now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like you got Brissett third.
In less than 5 years, I'm going to believe we're going to be putting him on the elite quarterback level.
Interesting. I like that. I like that play.
And with that coach, I mean, if him and Wright can get on the same page, like Breeze and Sean Payton and Belichick and
Right.
Brady.
This is not a team. This is not a team of names either. This is not a team where you sit down at that, like you sit down with your score sheet and you look at you like, wow, it really jumps off the page. You see the team like the Jets built, with these offensive weapons they brought in and stuff like that, and you're like, wow, that jumps off the page. This is a team. Marlon Mack. A lot of people. He's a big name wide receiver, but people forget about T.Y. Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you forget about
The
him.
only one that everybody knows.
I can't even tell you that fucking cat's first name, Leonard, the middle linebacker who led the league in tackles last year, I believe, and was rookie of the year. This is a Darius, I believe his first name is.
I didn't realize
there's a team of just guys that are, they're.
What's his name? Houston was over there.
Yeah, Justin Houston signed there this offseason. It's an exciting team to watch, and I say good for Indianapolis because it could have been disastrous. And Jacoby Brissett, good for you, and good for making the most of your opportunity. It's really a cool story.
In
there.
the beginning year when Andrew Luck decided to retire, we were all sitting here like, wow, they could be in trouble. And I was like, I like Brissett because I like what I seen when he started the year that Luck was out. And there's some growing pains but now with Reich there and like this is his 3rd year. He's played with the number ones. There's something that he believes in.
And he's got that always reliable outlet. Well, Ebron. He does. He's a great tight end.
What was funny?
Again, another touchdown.
Another reason to really like Brissett, they said that when they were in practice, he was their practice QB. So the defense always played against Brissett. So like whenever the defense would take pictures, like as a defensive unit, he'd go and sneak in somewhere in the picture because he's like, I'm part of the defense because you guys practice against me every week.
Right.
And the defense kind of rallied around him and kind of made him
nice. So that's
part of
cool.
the defense. And you're like, when a quarterback can jive with your defense and you go out there and everybody's out there rallying for the same person, it just brings up the spirits and everybody wants to play harder. Yeah.
Frank Reich in that front office, they knew that there was something special with Jacoby Brissett because you heard that he was his backup, you heard that he could play and he was going to play and stuff, but they committed the $30 million to him. And that's a big move over 2 years for a guy. I know you say I'm not calling you out on your point here, but I would not call him a totally proven commodity at the time. At the time, they paid him that money, and I give them a lot of credit for doing that. So they saw something in him, they believed in him, and good for Indianapolis. And they're going in and they're winning huge fucking games.
This was a big
So-
game for them to win.
I mean, it's an exciting time there for
And-
New England fans.
Like,
Or,
Houston's not a scrub team, man. They're a team, Deshaun Watson's a baller, man. That was a really fun game. They got a good defense there, too.
Yeah, that one game. If you get a chance, I thought the best takeaway from the 49ers and Redskins game was the unbelievable slide that Bosa pulled off. Did you see this? He sacks the quarterback, and he there was so much fucking rain at that shit field that they have in Washington. He like slid half the field to the sideline. It was pretty cool. I mean, a 9-0 game. That game must have been awful. It was raining. It was shitty, and I think it's an important conversation that we need to have here now, because I brought it up in the past, and I know it wasn't kind of like it was. You're like, it won't happen. You got to start talking about Anthony Lynn in L.A. and the Chargers here, because you're talking about a team that's going to go to a new stadium next year, and I know usually you don't make that coaching change, but is it time?
No.
Is it time to wait? Here's my question though: with this team sliding and the talent that's on this team, is it time going into a new stadium to make that really huge splash like they did in Las Vegas? I don't know who it would be. I don't know who the hire is. Okay, but is it time with the lack of success they're having this year, with getting beat by Ryan Tannehill? Is it time to start murmuring about that a little bit? I don't think he's a guy that goes in season at all. I think he's definitely a guy that goes to the end of the season if he gets fired. But it's time to start pounding the fucking alarm in LA for these Chargers.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, with all that talent, what is the problem there?
They are currently in last in the AFC West. They are below the Denver Broncos.
I mean, the AFC West is a tough division.
Really weird. Gordon fumbled twice that game.
How? But how?
And on the goal line to end the game. Seriously, I mean, how do you do that? They had that game. They had it.
How long are we going to go through the motions of the Chargers? John, I think you and I both picked them to go to the Super Bowl last year.
I lost that one.
Do you know what I'm saying? But it's okay. So
Giving up already?
We picked that last year.
I picked them last year. This year, I think I picked them to go to the playoffs. I have to look at my sheet.
We picked them last year, and I believe this year too. We picked them to go to the playoffs as well.
Right.
But it's a team. It's like, okay, when are we going to stop underachieving here with the fucking names we've got on this roster?
Wait, are you talking about the Bears?
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Same.
So it's tough to watch these Chargers, man. It sucks for these guys again because you're not having any support. You're not going to get any support when you get to LA. It's become a very undesirable place to play. You're going to lose Melvin Gordon. You're going to lose Phillip Rivers soon, and you're going to go back to having the first overall pick in the draft, and that'll be probably your quarterback of the future in a few years. You know, I mean, maybe it's Trevor Lawrence. So that's what you could hope for in LA because Phillip's time is numbered. I mean, we have to agree on that.
Wow, he's 17-year vet now?
Yeah.
You're right.
But with all this talent, this is
1 year per
another
kid.
This is another team that's like Atlanta, an underachieving team that's over talented fucking players on this team, talented defense, talented offense. What is going wrong here? There has to be an issue here. One of these facets is not playing at a high level, and I also think it does affect them where they're playing.
And they haven't been losing by a lot. I mean, they lost by 3 points.
They're in every game.
They're like right there. It's kind of feel like Denver. Denver's usually like in most games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why they can't just close them out.
Yeah.
It is weird. San Diego is always playing from behind. It just seems like they're so out of character. It's weird to me that this is the fucking team I'm seeing. I mean, how the fuck do you have a hard time with Tennessee? Seriously,
Tennessee's not a bad team.
They didn't run as much as I thought they were. So I was way wrong about Tannehill. Tannehill did throw a pick, but
I think Tannehill
he wasn't great.
But he wasn't great.
But it's week one. He got to win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And I
gotta give him props.
Sure. I give him the respect. Yeah.
I feel like Tannehill was never as bad as he looked in Miami, but because Miami, as we see, is just a dumpster fire. You know what I mean?
This is what we were saying. We've said about this Tennessee team. Quietly, they have very good weapons. At the quarterback's disposal, and the offensive line has gotten a lot better. So this is a place where I think a Ryan Tannehill could actually thrive
because now you got that.
It's a recipe for success for him.
Guy there, he's kind of okay. That running back guy, you know,
Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, that guy that just runs people over. that's a quarterback's best
He's like
friend right there.
this big up top, dude. He's just fucking huge.
And like that right there is a best friend for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You could just beat the snots out of a guy on the ground, and then all he's got to do is just play catch. And I think Tannehill's good enough to do that.
Yeah.
And he's got some wheels. He can move.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with. I definitely agree with that.
Anytime you have that option as a QB, it helps you.
Absolutely.
Did you guys touch on? I thought I would have heard it when I was in the John, but did you touch on to the fact that
When you're in, John.
Ew.
Hey,
the fact that the Saints and Bears score was not indicative of what
I
the
did
actual
say
play
that,
was?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because that was. I remember like looking up the score and it was like 6 minutes ago and it was 36-10.
Yeah.
So
It was the game was 36-9. It was that bad.
again, how do you
Or,
rush
36-10. sorry.
seven
Yeah.
damn times
Yeah.
in a game? Not like Montgomery should have had over 7 rushes himself.
Yeah.
Where Cohen should have had. Montgomery should have had at least 15 touches.
There should be at minimum
Cohen should have
35
like
rushes. 35
Yes.
rushes.
and we're talking about the Bears again.
10. You got me going.
I know. I listen, guys. I've circled. I've circled
We actually
back to the Jets a couple times too.
We
So
have to move on to picks. I mean, no,
yeah, we do. Well, we started
that's right.
15 minutes late.
That's right.
Remember?
We did. I
So
forget.
We'll give them the extra tonight. You know,
We still can talk about
the,
games.
the one. Guys.
Oh wait, what did we do? How did we do this week? By the way,
Well,
X wise.
all right. So, of course, I had my double-digit wins. I came in first at 10-4.
Suck ass, John.
And Chicken, you came in second at 8-6, and then Caleb, you went 7-7.
Hot lunch.
So very pretty brutal. I mean,
Thank you, John. Can you make me feel better in any way?
But at least you scored.
There's really nothing to salvage from this. Okay,
you
thank
went
you.
500. You didn't lose the week, I guess.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Right, if the Jets were 500, you think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Another game I want to touch on is the Vikings in Detroit.
Fuck the fucking Vikings.
Detroit was I was
It was close at first.
I almost picked Detroit. I actually circled them, and then
And you crossed it out. I saw
I
it on your
crossed it out.
sheet.
I'm like, they're playing the Vikings. And I said it then, and I believe it now. Like the Lions are one of those teams. Like when things are going good, they could keep it rolling, but once they start losing, they tank.
Injuries.
They go right down
Welcome.
the toilet.
Yeah,
they
they're-
always seem to be like they've never been one of those teams that pick themselves back up.
and you're also seeing too to tag back up on the trades and stuff too. You're trying to see Matt Patricia be Bill Belichick. Okay, you're trying to see him make that fucking off the cuff trade. I roll my eyes at it too. But make that weird signing, that off the cuff trade, that you're going to trade that big guy for, something shitty that you'll turn into a 3rd round pick that maybe you really go out and have the scouting boys go out and do their homework on, and it turns out to be a hit. Like he's doing that type of shit, and I don't think it's putting them in the best position to win. You're still in this division. I know they're 2-3-1. You're still in this division. Yes, Packers are 6-1. There it is, 4 games, but there's still a wild card spot to be had.
with his clusterfucked as the East is.
Exactly.
And as runaway as well. The West you got just
The West is competitive.
The West, you got 3 teams that could.
do it.
Every team is 500 in the West. 500 or up. So
Even Arizona.
Arizona's 3-3-1.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, but
South you got Carolina and the Saints.
I'm not fucking selling. I'm not fucking selling if I'm them. There's no fucking reason to sell. What do you like? All these good players, these quality players, and these injuries and stuff. It's very weird in Detroit, and it's going to be interesting to see how the next few weeks go in Detroit. So, gentlemen, in the last game we'll touch on here quick.
Thielen got injured. Bring up the Minnesota game. Did we hear anything?
He is not playing tonight.
Okay.
Adam Thielen will not be playing tonight.
Not that matters against Washington.
It's gonna take off.
Gotta shout out, gentlemen, to them Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagon, gentlemen. The oh man, it's tough to say. 5-1 Buffalo Bills. And good for
Second in the
these guys.
AFC.
That place is jumping. That onside kick to return for a touchdown.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was the cool moment.
They let Miami hang around way too much.
Well, they gave him like a head start, didn't they? Give him like a.
Yes, Miami. It was 14-9 at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Allen came out and did it. Good for the Bills, man. Fucking cool. The Bills, the 2 Buffalo sports teams have played 16 games this year, and they've won 13 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, between the Bills and the Sabres. I think it's a pretty cool stat for all you Buffalo Bills fans out
And
there.
the Bills
so.
they're not a team of names.
No, not at all.
I mean, Frank Gore is probably the biggest name there, most recognizable name.
Is he a coach or a player?
I think he's both.
You know,
I think he's doing the.
Get back, coach. No.
well, gentlemen, shall we talk about some games tonight or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
For the weekend and tonight and all that good stuff.
Well,
Tonight, the Washington Redskins will go on the road to
Yeah, this is a
Minnesota.
16.5-point line. You know,
and like you kind of got to take it because Washington hasn't shown nothing.
no,
God, 0 points last week. Just
they played their best game against probably, you know, even though they beat Miami, I still think they played better against San Fran, losing 9-0.
yeah, but they're just it's pathetic. It's tough. I mean,
It's pretty bad.
this is going to be an absolute steamrolling. I think this is a good chance for like Minnesota. This is where I'm very scared if you have like a Delvin Cook on your fantasy team. Like we'll give about a little bit of fantasy insight right now because we don't have much to talk about with this game. But this is a game I'm scared about if I have like a Delvin Cook because yes, you think it's going to be pretty run heavy because they're going to score a lot of points. But this is also a great game for a guy coming off an ACL who's had a very big workload the first 7 weeks to really slow him down here.
He had a great week last week.
He really did. And he's playing well. And yes, Thielen is out for this game, so Diggs kind of becomes a bigger target in this game, even more so for that noodle at quarterback. But I think that I'm very wary of Delvin Cook this week, just for simply because I just don't know if it's the right play to do the coaching staff to play him that much. You want him to piss pump him?
Oh, he's going to piss pump him, and I'll tell you why.
Could be.
This is going to be
I thought he said fist bump him.
Yeah.
two reasons. The NFL is trying to build this as a revenge game between Kirk Cousins and Washington,
Right.
Minnesota. But then you got that other guy there, that guy that was okay, Adrian
And Peterson. Yeah.
Yeah, like I love how they're talking about Kirk Cousins when Adrian Peterson's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But you got to look at a guy like Cook going against the guy who holds almost every record rushing wise.
I didn't even think about that. Isn't that bad that I didn't think about that connection about Adrian Peterson in Minnesota? That's fucking, yeah,
been a while.
It's been a while, man. You just don't even think about him there
But
anymore.
you got to remember, though, you're a running back at Delvin Cook's age. Who did you look up to? You didn't know Walter Payton. You didn't really know Barry Sanders. You knew Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, that Adrian. I would say, guys, that you're right. Adrian Peterson is probably the running back of my generation.
Absolutely. And like LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, LaDainian Tomlinson, Peterson. Me being a Jets fan, Curtis Martin comes to mind. But that's
a little older.
That's early in my generation. But yeah, I mean, you're right. He's the GOAT. Frank Gore is not a bad. I mean, not a bad point.
Frank Gore is the Martin. Now,
But if you ask me and my buddy, you're right, Chicken. I think that's a great point. If you ask me and my buddies, like, give me your top 5, number 1 is definitely going to be AP.
it actually has to be.
It has to be, yeah.
I mean, there's been some good running backs during that time, but Adrian Peterson was just a beast. And if you're a young running back in Minnesota, that's all you see on the banners is Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson. I mean, you think about if you're a Chicago Bear, like it's Walter Payton.
Sure.
If you're in
The Jets, Curtis Martin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dallas,
Yeah,
it's
Emmett.
So, and as a young player, and now you got that guy's right across the field from you. To me, being a young kid, I would want to show
smash mouth opportunity at home.
Let me show him that I'm the new guy in Minnesota.
This is kind of like this, I mean, now that I think AP still played in the Metrodome when he was there, but now it's like this is my building type deal, type kind of thing. I see you on that, Chicken. I mean,
more so than I can see that more so than the quarterback situation, more than Kirk Cousins want to take revenge on his old team because I just don't see.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of implications in this game, but I just didn't even think about. I hate to say, I didn't even think about it just because this fucking Redskins team is just in shambles.
Yeah,
just shambles. I mean, it's going to have to be a total rebuild there.
So we're all going Minnesota.
Yes,
sir.
Right.
Not even a question.
This other game is a little more interesting because we've seen both teams start to do well and
Very
both teams
interesting.
shit the bed.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions and the New York Giants. Man,
That's like the next 3 games, that sentence.
yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's disappointing. It's a fucking disappointing 1:00 on Sunday. Eh?
Oh
Holy
my God.
shit!
Dude, these next 3 games are like, You're gonna flip
I
a fucking coin.
I'll tell you one thing. Okay, the Giants going into Detroit. Detroit's not a fucking hostile environment at all. It's like fucking playing in a fucking library.
Yeah, Minnesota was not phased by their crowd.
Not at all. Detroit's a fucking joke.
You know,
that stadium is so fucking big.
The tackle didn't have to slap the center for the fucking snap
Yeah.
down or anything.
Well,
Yeah.
And here's the thing: like they're playing on turf inside, so that means Saquon Barkley's gonna be that much faster.
Yeah, great game for him to be back.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, quietly, by the way, that Giants and Cardinals game last week, it was very exciting. Last week, it was a good game to really. I mean, you're kind of weird. You're talking about the top two quarterbacks.
One touchdown,
but
difference of game.
Yeah,
6 points. Yeah,
I feel like both those teams, as bad as we thought they were in the beginning of the year, like absolutely, and we dogged on them a lot. The Giants kind of started getting a little something going. I mean, they got smacked down a few times, but like you start to see a little something.
the Giants are having the same problem as the Eagles: injuries.
Yeah,
It really bit them hard. I think they could. I think they.
Bears fans, we know.
Yeah, exactly.
21 people on the injured reserve.
I think you could make a statement that the Giants would be in a way better spot with Daniel Jones having all of his options.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't he hasn't had it. And this is kind of the game where you're starting to maybe hopefully get them all kind of coming back. They're starting to all trickle back. This is Saquon's second game back.
Did the Giants already have a bye week yet, or no?
Yeah, I think it had something to do with. I believe they haven't. I believe it's next week because remember we were talking about them bringing Saquon back, and I thought it would be best to come after the bye. So I think they're week 9 bye. Okay, but I mean
they're week 11.
Week 11. So that because remember we thought that injury was going to extend out that far, and then those videos of him at practice came out. Holy fuck!
And that's a great time to have a bye week for a team like I would like to see it a little earlier, like maybe week 9, 10. Let them regroup and, like you said, get some of your weapons back and get him gelling with those guys like you usually see on a bye week. But Detroit, I feel like is going like they felt like they were doing really well, but now again, like I said, they lose a couple games. I think they're going to tank. I feel the Giants can come back and win. I'm going with the Giants on this one. I know I've voted them for a few times and I got stung, but with the Lions dropping again with Minnesota and I just feel like they're just going to keep paying.
I see. That's the thing. I totally believe that they're in tank mode right now.
Not purposely tank.
No. Yeah. But I'm still drinking Detroit Lion Kool-Aid right now.
Really?
Yeah. I think the Lions.
I think this Kerryon Johnson thing is going to be too big, John. I have to disagree. I'm going to go with.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I forgot all. I only circled most of the way. Hang on.
I really think this is a good opportunity. Again, you talk about you brought up the question of environment. I think that does do a lot for a quarterback like Daniel Jones, like playing that fucking library environment in Detroit because it's such a big stadium there. The difference about there and a lot of these other domes that they're building is they're on top of you in these domes. Detroit is built like out, so it's built like almost Coliseum-esque. Okay, so it's just not a loud place to play. It's not an intimidating place to play,
and it's Giants fans everywhere.
And it's a climate-controlled place to play. I think this is a great place for Saquon to feel his best. I know this. It might sound like a fucking stretch, but it does mean something. I think Daniel Jones has a really, really good week.
I bet,
and I think I'm going to definitely go Giants.
I'm going Detroit.
I bet you there's probably about 40% of the people in that stadium will be Giants fans.
I'm going.
Could be. Yeah, could be. I hate fucking 7 points is a joke. By the way, that's
You're going
fucking
Detroit,
stupid.
I am going Detroit. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna catch up on you.
You're going Giants, chick?
Yeah, I'm going Giants.
Sure.
Yeah, I just feel like the energy is going to be going their way. Tennessee Titans versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man,
Tampa
interesting.
Bay is the Atlanta Falcons to me. They've been falconized.
Titans won, so they're going to lose. I want to pick the Titans here. I really do.
Honestly,
But what Tampa Bay team's going to show
awful analysis, but hell of a take.
What Tampa Bay team's going to show up? What Titans team is going to show up?
Yeah, does anybody have a coin?
I feel like Titans, though, at a base, though, they're like we were just discussing. I feel like with Tannehill there, and Tampa Bay's defense is not very
No,
good.
that's what
sucks.
That's what's going to turn it for me because Tannehill just has to play a serviceable game, and Tennessee should be fine.
Now, Tampa Bay's got a decent D line, but when you got Derrick Henry just beating the piss out of you,
then it's nullified. It's an even. Yeah. It's like two dicks bumping.
And if you could just keep the ball churning with Derrick Henry, and then, like I said, Tannehill's just got to play catch with dudes.
Tannehill's got an arm. Tannehill has an arm. I strongly believe that.
I want to see this kid do good. I'd like to see Tannehill. He took a beating.
Good for him,
in
yeah.
Miami,
Fuck yeah. Fuck, I would. I mean, I think it's a great fit. Like I said, and I said when we were talking about Mariota getting benched last week, it's a heavy statement to bring in a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill by a coaching staff and put him behind Marcus Mariota, the former number 1 overall pick. It's a heavy fucking statement too. Number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, it was number.
Cam Newton was number 1.
No, he was in the same year as Cam.
No,
Oh no, it was Winston.
Jameis
Winston. Sorry,
Yeah.
same player, different teams.
Yeah.
I just go back to that week that Tampa Bay beat Carolina in Carolina. They can play in a hostile, well, not a hostile, but in an away environment.
Yeah.
And their defense played great. Now, Cam did hit the dirt 26 times that game. But
I'm gonna
yeah,
go.
I'm going Tennessee.
I'm gonna go Tennessee at home too.
Yeah.
I don't like. Tennessee's a kind of a fucking pretty wild place to play.
Last
I don't
week,
know.
you look, dude. Last week,
it
only
be? I don't know.
fucking 5 home teams won last week. So it's
And I picked all of the opposite home, or I picked all.
right now I've got 3 home teams winning. So you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm going to go Titans and
Titans as well.
And but again, I think this could be a good game. I hope the fucking Tennessee team, shootout team shows. I hope Tennessee shootout team shows up, and I hope Tampa Bay shootout team shows up because this game could go over 100 fucking points.
I don't.
are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
yeah,
don't
I'm
think-
shitting you, of course.
What's in your cup?
I'm saying Tampa Bay could get in a shootout, but I don't
None of your
think
business.
Titans. And if you are the Titans, I wouldn't want to get in a shootout.
If the Titans are smart, they fucking keep the ball on the ground, do short dink and dunk passes. Don't put the game in Tannehill's hands.
Put it in
Henry's hands.
Yep.
And fucking beat them up. Because and that's the thing with the good D line but shitty secondary, you should be able to take advantage of that with a solid running game.
Yep.
This is going
You'll
to
get those passes when you need them.
This is going to be a good one because this is a Bruce Arians coach team coming off the bye week. That's the last thing I'll say about Tampa Bay.
That's why it's tough.
Yeah.
I just Tampa, I can't. They're like my new Atlanta.
I can't either. You're
They're the
right.
new Atlanta to me. And so
I love that I made that a thing. The Atlanta still said it. I don't know if you heard it. Still tagged up on it. Still tagged up on it at the end of the show last week after I said it like 50 minutes before.
See, like,
and then still went back for it.
I was like that.
Don't get
for-
Falcon.
For years. Like that year they went to the Super Bowl, I used to call them the Paper Tigers because they always showed real strong. And then like at halftime of that Super Bowl, and I remember texting my brother, I'm like, Brady's going to win. And he's like, what? I'm like, he's going to win. And you just knew because that's what Atlanta does. They just
Choke.
give up.
Yeah.
Gary Anderson.
Uh,
So the Bears
next
versus the
toss-up.
Chargers.
Couldn't think of a fucking worse game for the Los Angeles should be San Diego Chargers to have to do to go in to Soldier Field after just taking a heartbreaking loss last week. Okay, and I believe that loss was
to me, both of them were heartbreaking.
no kidding, and that was
because the Bears lost to the New Orleans Saints secondary team.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Like, can you imagine if they had Breeze and Kamara there? Oh my God, we would have got destroyed.
Could you imagine? God, the fucking scheduling gods sucked their asshole. Holy fuck,
Well,
this is
the Bears
horrible.
had a players only meeting this week, so I'm hoping something.
So none of the old line showed up again.
Chicken, we're gonna give you a point for that one. Give Chicken a point, please. Okay, thank you. Plus one there. All right.
I'm really hoping something shook the fucking tree. You know, it's horseshit what we're seeing on that.
This is gonna be the fuck. I think the Bears are gonna wipe them. I mean,
I hope so. They
this
need
is-
something.
I hope so. I don't want
Chargers-
Melvin Gordon to get pissed off at what he did last week and come out and have his fucking debut this week.
Chargers team,
It's-
a Chargers team that
That
played
doesn't worry me.
at Tennessee this past week. Now you're at Chicago. 2 weeks ago, oh my God, you're making
What's
that
the weather
Midwest
gonna be
trip.
like?
You're making that Midwest trip twice. I mean, maybe they stayed out here, but that's still not home. It's still not comfortable. Nothing's been comfortable for these Chargers. It just doesn't. I feel bad for them. Such a talented team. Eckler, Gordon, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Hunter Henry,
Phillip Rivers,
Okung, which is good for him. It's a great story. Him coming back, good for him. I'm glad he got healthy.
But with the
it's just
Chargers that scare me more than the guys in our offense is because we have a great
Bosa, Ingram,
those guys
it's
like
fucking good.
Teeing off against Trubisky, who has been just the O line is god awful.
That's the thing. The Bears' O line is shitty. Their offense has been stagnant. Do I really expect that much to change in one fucking week?
Unless somebody grabs Nagy by the freaking throat and says, "Run the goddamn ball."
I don't want to get falconed. I really don't.
I know. I feel
I'm
like
drinking the Bears Kool-Aid.
This for me is easy. I don't think the Chargers are going to have much in the tank this week. I think it's really fucking tough.
think
this is a tough fucking
being
week for the
in
Chargers.
Chicago definitely goes better for Chicago. They seem to play a little bit better at home. I think Trubisky he's got to play his ball. Give the kid a chance to use his feet. Get a little bit of giddy up in your step when you're getting up on the line. Put a little.
Fans were booing him. Fans booed him at hockey games this week. I mean, oh my god!
But it's not all on him. When you run the
that's
ball
what kills me
7
is
times,
everybody's putting it on him, and it's it's partially on you for missing wide open passes. But that's only, I swear to goodness, probably 7% of the game.
But you're coming back
The
from
rest
an
is
injury.
the offensive line and the play calling. It's just really bad.
You're coming back from an injury against the number one team in the NFC, really. I mean, the 49ers have a little bit better record than that, but for all intents and purposes, they've been killing it.
Right.
And that defense on the Saints has gotten much improved.
Oh,
I mean, they're
that's
playing
the
really
thing.
well.
They are a really good defense. I mean, we really only have to worry about one fucking guy in San Diego. You seal him up. Defense?
Ingram or Bosa?
Bosa. That's
Ingram. You definitely got to worry about Ingram.
But there's two still. Two is not is nothing to.
That's why their offense doesn't scare me as much if
Doesn't
we can
scare me.
keep our defense, breathing, instead of sucking wind by second quarter.
I'm going to drink a little more Bears Kool-Aid.
You have to in this
you know.
game, guys. I mean, this is just. I mean, what a fucking crime to make this
Right
team
now,
go.
I don't know if they could fight their way out of a paper bag, but I'm going with the Bears. Just because I think the Chargers are that much worse, and I think with Phillip Rivers not really being a mobile quarterback, we should be able to get to him pretty
Yes,
good.
and that's the thing. Teams are, and he's not. So we should have an okay. As long as our defense isn't on the fucking field for 45 of the fucking
That's what
60
I'm saying.
minutes.
And that's why you got to run the ball.
Right. We should get to him often. If defense is on the field again for that long, he could pick us apart.
Well, and the worst thing is when the defense is out in the field for that long, that's when injuries happen. And then you start losing guys. They start dropping like flies because the offense can't stay on the field. So these guys they're dropping.
Fucking kills me, man. They were fucking gassed. They were exhausted. He had all the time in the world to throw the
my
ball
God.
at
He was
the
sitting back
end of
there.
the game.
He ate lunch. He had dinner. He had a snack in between. I think he did some arts and crafts. Then he
Fucking
decided
ate some
to throw
girl's
the ball.
pussy. It was really what the fuck.
Hate some girl's pussy. Oh man,
That was just ugly. It's just they need to get their shit back together. Hopefully, coming back home.
Yeah.
We'll do that for them. But here, Atlanta Falcons against the Seattle Seahawks.
Good Christ, come on.
Yeah, okay. See, everybody, why don't we even bother with this? Russell Wilson is going to kick somebody's dick in the dirt, and we're going to call him
3.5 points. Shut the
that
fuck
blows my mind.
up. Guys, you want to? Let me ask this question. Here's what we could talk about for this game. Okay, just a little sub in here, quick. Right now, I think we can narrow it to 3. Right now, if you had to name an MVP, Wilson, McCaffrey, or Mahomes, who is it?
Wilson.
I'm kind of leaning that way, but it's for me, I'm Mahomes is out for me right now.
Well, he's out. Well,
I know he's out. I'm not holding his body of work against him.
The reason why,
Brissett, Allen in Carolina, he turned that fucking team around.
Yeah.
I can't go with the guy who has a start. But Christian McCaffrey, I think Christian McCaffrey, I look at it this way. Carolina is not the same team without Christian McCaffrey.
I agree.
but here's the same thing.
But they had McCaffrey and fucking Newton, and they weren't winning.
But Matt Moore came in that game, and he still produced. He still played really well because you got Tyreek Hill. You got
Don't
Kelsey.
take away from Mahomes.
a lot of
here. We can't say it's universal.
No,
All
I'm
right,
not
I know
saying
you. I know what you're
but,
saying. Yeah.
there's other people there to kind of help out. When you think about Seattle, who are you thinking about?
No, you're right about that. He stands above the rest.
Right.
Right.
I mean, like, who's their main dude now, right now?
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Oh, what about him?
You know what I'm saying? Like, who else on that offense are we talking about on a weekly basis? In Kansas City, and I love Kansas
his
City,
own award.
and I think Patrick Mahomes is just balling out, and I think he's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to be one of those elite quarterbacks, and he makes everything they do go. But with Russell Wilson, it's like, in Kansas City, you can name off like 4 or 5 players like we just did. In Seattle, you haven't been able to do that in years. And he still has them competing. And he still got Seattle as one of the top teams in the league.
Hey, you don't have to sell it to me. I agree. I mean, Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey. I think it's a very tight race. What McCaffrey's done this year has been unbelievable. I'm really impressed with him. But you're exactly right, Chicken. What Russell Wilson has done this year has been incredible too. So it's a little bit of food for thought to start kind of getting that going. I think maybe next week, kind of because we'll be at that halfway point. Maybe we'll go through like a couple of our half-season awards.
I'm really weirded about this 3.5 point Seahawks line. To me, it should be much larger.
It's insane to me.
Yeah, but you got to remember
The Falcons, they haven't played in 2 years. The Falcons beat them by 3 in 17.
But everybody, the media, everybody has this like weird fascination with the Atlanta Falcons because they're a sexy team on paper. You know what I mean? You got all the weapons on offense, but the defense sucks. So every year they kind of tell us, Atlanta, and they just never really do it. And so I feel like based on just the, like what they're on paper, how they look, I think that's why you got 3.5 points. And they're at
Dude,
home.
we're in week 8. What the hell is going on? Because we know what Atlanta is. There's no question. Back when they beat Philly, then it was a question. Now they fucking rattled off 3 shitty-ass losses since then. Who gives a shit? It's Atlanta. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if you give the home team 3 fucking points.
So you're picking Atlanta?
No! I'm just blown away by why it's... You know what? What did this fucking game open at? Let's look at this fucking shit because that really blows my mind.
I think any loss and Dan Quinn's gone. I mean, you can't fire a guy off a win, so that sucks for them.
That's what I'm thinking. This is a fucking setup game, and
get the fuck out of here,
dude. It opened up at 3.5. It hasn't moved. People are betting Atlanta.
Give me Seattle. Give me Seattle.
I'm going Seattle.
Why?
This
line, Seattle. But this line should be up. If it opened at 3.5, it should be up to 7.5 by now.
Trade me the Lions line for the Seattle line. 7 for the 3.5. I could see those. I could flip flop those and be totally fucking fine with it.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Totally be fucking fine with it.
I can see that.
The Giants line opened up at 7.5. Detroit. Oh, it's at 6.5 now. It moved since I printed it this morning.
So let's get on to the next game.
The New York Jets
versus the Jets. This is a game again. Wishy-washy teams. Jets beating Dallas. Really kind of.
The Jaguars are taking advantage of bad teams, and I think they're going to continue that trend.
That's right. Yeah, Minshew is 3-3, playing very respectable still. He'll come down to earth a little bit. Good for him. I think he, kind of probably needed it a little bit. And Jacksonville's a very good team. I mean,
they're a team with promise, and they're a team that can show up any week and hurt a team.
Yeah,
solid defense, good running game. Okay passing game, and a quarterback who moves his fucking feet. I'm okay with picking Jacksonville this week.
Yeah, I'm going with Jacksonville as well.
I'm going with the Jets.
And I'm willing to overlook the Jets. Playing bad against the Patriots. I think they're going to again. I think it's a growing step, a learning step.
I say look at the Jets how they played Dallas versus the Jets playing New England because it is New England. New England's had their number for years. I know you say they usually split every year, but
I know, right? Not this year, boys.
But
no, I mean,
New England's on another level. I think Jacksonville's more of an evenly matched.
This could be. I honestly think this will be a really good game. I think this is a great game to get Sam back right again.
Yeah.
To really get his head right, and even if it's not, I'm not spewing that purely as has to be a win. I'm talking that it just needs to be a quality performance. And this is the team that he could have a quality performance against. And that's all I'm asking.
Now, is Darnold hurt again? I thought I'd seen something.
He was, yes. So there was a problem with something. He did practice. He's going to play.
A fractured vulva.
He should try some Utica hemp oil. Are you tired of living in pain?
Okay,
Your
chicken.
medication doesn't seem to be working, or it leaves you in a fog? Try a natural, safer alternative with CBD from Utica Hemp. With everything from oil, full spectrum, and THC free, topicals, CBD flower, and dog treats, Utica Hemp has something for everyone. Visit uticahempco.com or stop in one of their 4 locations: Utica, Herkimer, New Hartford. And grand opening this week is in Clinton. They are opening up a new store in Clinton this weekend. They got the grand opening Saturday, I believe, to speak to the knowledgeable staff and how CBD can help you. Utica Hemp, improve the quality of your life.
You are a regular James Earl Jones on that read.
It's a mouthful. He gets to practice a couple times.
Where
were you going with? You going Jacksonville?
I'm going Jacksonville.
I'm going Jacksonville.
Caleb said he's going Jets, which is weird. He's just throwing fucking. There's a reason why he's doing so bad. He's throwing his picks away.
Well, because he's a homer.
Yeah, but that's what kills me. It's like,
But then
last
pick the
week
Bears.
I picked the Saints because I'm not a homer. I'm picking logically. I do drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid, but dude, come on. The Patriots, Jets.
How about this game? Bills and Eagles.
This one's so tough for me.
I'm going Bills.
This one's so
I want to buy the Bills this year. I want to buy them.
me.
The Eagles to me are just, again, they're one of those teams. Just roll the dice. Like, what Eagles are you going to get? And I think that Buffalo defense is going to be really stout, and I think they're going to be all over Carson Wentz. And then just running it right up the gut with Gore. I'm going Bills.
So this is a tough game, man. This is a really tough game, but I'm very nervous that we could get a Bills team that comes out kind of sluggish like they did last week. I thought they came out a little bit light at the beginning part of the game.
Don't forget, that is a divisional game.
Sure.
Even though, we see it time and time again. Detroit could be the shittiest team in the league,
Yeah.
and they'll come out and play the Bears tough.
Respect
They'll
that.
Play Green Bay tough.
Good take.
Same thing with they see each other twice a year. So
Good take. This is an Eagles team though that they also come out a little bit slow, but if you let them hang around, they're gonna beat you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like the Cowboys fucking stomped him on the throw last week.
no, I think these are
And they put
great coach teams.
They put him away early last week. I think this could be the Bills' first real lump this year. I think this could be. I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this one. It's so tough to go to Buffalo. I know that's the kind of the sacrilegious play. Especially these people are fucking psychos. Right
Yeah, but if you had
they're
to
so high right now.
If you
it's
had
not
to
even
choose
funny.
another stadium, like an NFC version of Buffalo, it would probably be Philly. To me,
I'll be honest. Can I tell you something?
Nah, the Buffalo Bill fans are.
I was in Philly last week. These motherfuckers in Philly don't have a snowball's chance in hell. We shouldn't even mention them in the same conversation as Bills fans. These motherfucking Bills fans are on a whole nother fucking level. I appreciate what you're saying, Chicken. If you wanted to go, it would be fucking 1 in Buffalo, and then you couldn't even start until you got to 15. Because that's how much to respect.
I think
These
you guys,
motherfuckers
you guys forget how
these
bad
fuckers
Buffalo used to be.
Are hungry in Buffalo. These fucking fans, that's the fucking best place to go watch a fucking game. It is the best place. Buffalo, New York, the Ralph. I don't give a fuck they call it New York Field. The fucking Ralph is the best experience for any sports fan. And everybody should go to the Ralph and experience an entire 7 a.m. to 1 o'clock kickoff tailgate and then go and watch the game with these fans. Because I will tell you something, I've been in Philly a few weekends ago in my Jets garb, and I got a little bit of heckling. You get the fucking shit talked to you. It's like, and I'm just like, it's the Jets, man. But I'll tell you something, those fucking Bills fans believe that if they're 0-15, they will fucking sit there and shit talk you and believe in their team.
I didn't get that last year. I sat there in my Chicago Bears gear, and
I'm telling you something. These people are fucking love their Buffalo football.
Oh, I get it. They totally do, and that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of jumping on the bandwagon with Buffalo this year is because they're a small market team.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're that blue collar team that people don't rally against. But
Buffalo,
that's
it's
how
a steel mill.
But that's kind of how Philly was right before they went.
Yeah.
When they went to the Super Bowl, Philly was off the hook.
Yeah.
And if Buffalo ever won a Super Bowl,
Oh my God! Come on, man. I would have to go out there
Buffalo
just to see it.
or Cleveland, I think both places would just erupt.
But that being said, I think this is going to be a really awesome game. I'm going to give it to the Eagles at the end because I just think that if this game came down to each team getting one last drive, I would take the Eagles in one last drive to get it to the end zone. I just think there's a couple more playmakers there. I'm going back on what I said about that blue-collar team, but I think there's just a couple more playmakers that get the Eagles over the hump. Injuries could kill the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. I'm still going to take them in Buffalo, but honestly, happy for all of you Bills fans out there.
Eagles are 1-4 on the road.
Yes.
I just don't know what to make of them.
This is also
I really think that the safe pick is the Bills just because of their defense and okay offense.
Yeah, so underrated.
It is just a grab bag of what the fuck. The
Eagles too. Interesting point.
I'm not drinking Bills Kool-Aid. I'm not. I'm trying to pick logically here, and I can't go with a team that is not showing me anything on the road. The only thing you've done on the road is you beat the the Jets was a home game.
Yeah, they beat the Jets at home, and that game when they played the Jets,
they beat the Packers on the road, which is basically a similar place.
But then they
play.
go and get their asses kicked against Dallas.
They got their Dallas. Let's see, Vikings lost by 18. Lions lost by 3. Falcons lost by 4. Fuck, this is really tough.
And I wouldn't put any of those teams better than the Bills right now.
No, Vikings would be the closest thing.
I would say, yeah. Ooh, wow, that'd be a good game, huh?
But
Vikings Bills.
Yeah,
that would be.
No, last year it was a shit.
Shit.
Bills destroyed them.
The floor off. Yeah.
It's nice too because even if you don't have the package or anything, this is going to be a fucking must watch on Sunday for me.
Still doesn't have a package.
So
you're going to Philadelphia?
I'm going Philly.
I'm going Bills.
Okay.
Going Bills. You going?
I'm going Bills.
Bills? Listen, go Bills. Honestly, go Bills, go Eagles. This is great. Going to be a great game.
My fucking sheet is way home heavy. I got to switch it up.
Well, here's not your chance to do that.
It is not.
The Cincinnati Bengals are going to go into Los Angeles, into the Coliseum, and play the Rams.
Favored by 13.
Is Dalton hurt?
No.
Jesus. No, it looks like he's playing.
Does it matter?
A little bit.
What? So, what are you going to take the fucking points?
Let me check out the injury report.
I'm gonna go Rams.
I don't think it really matters.
I don't either.
Interesting.
But I'm interested.
Interesting take though. Interesting take here. I just for conversation purposes, this is Zach Taylor going back to Los Angeles, where he was a coach with the Rams. Quarterback coach, offensive coordinator there. Hey, I'm not saying it means much, but I'm saying this could be a little bit more of a harder fought game than we think it's going to be.
He's not on the injury report.
I say Ramsey gets a pick 6.
Interesting. And an interesting point about Jalen Ramsey this week, and thank you for bringing him up, Chicken. Jalen Ramsey, and I think we hypothesized about this last week, but it was confirmed that Ramsey is on a promise to the Rams that he will resign, and he will not hold out.
I think the Rams D-line finally gets it right this week. So,
man, he's going to run train on that.
Donald should be just fine. Fantasy pick.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, this is a tough one. Yeah, this isn't tough at all.
No,
The Rams. Sure. Next game, Saints versus Cardinals. Now, are they saying that last night you read before the show? Drew Brees may come back and play this game.
I believe he's going to.
I think it's a horrible idea.
I think it's a terrible. They have the bye week next week.
You got a bye week next week.
Great point.
Bridgewater's been playing great football.
Great point, boys. Great point. Yeah.
Let him rest.
Teddy's undefeated.
I'd even rest Kamara.
Teddy's undefeated.
Rest them both.
Well, no.
Arizona's a team. Arizona's got a squad out there, bud.
Dude, what they did to us last week.
Chase Edmonds in the backfield. I mean, Arizona's got some. Arizona could surprise you in this game. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
If Kyler Murray gets right quick, playing in a similar environment to where he played.
The New Orleans defense is legit.
Yeah,
surprising. Did you ever think you'd say that in your lifetime? I never thought I'd say that in my
Well,
life.
they were pretty legit when they won the Super Bowl. They were pretty good defense.
Back when Jonathan Vilma was there, or what? Like it's in Will Smith.
They're really good.
R.I.P.
I think they can keep Murray in check. So I'm okay, even with the backups still being in there, carrying on what they did last
The
week.
game plan that they had going against a team like the Bears, they came in with a big defense and whatever. And New Orleans still was able to move the ball. They weren't as
They took their
God.
chunks. They took their chunks, kept their offense out there, and kept the Bears' offense off. It was a great game plan. I
Sean
loved
Payton.
it.
and I think Sean
You do the
Payton's a
same damn
fucking
thing.
guru.
And Sean
man.
Payton could do that
fucking
again
guru.
against this Arizona team, who I don't think is nearly as talented as the Bears team that they beat.
Teddy Bridgewater, who hadn't played in 2 years.
And I, you know me, I've dogged on Teddy Bridgewater, and I still hold by my statement. Teddy Bridgewater isn't a bad quarterback. He was always a game management quarterback, and people are saying, "Oh, he's going to take the next level."
Absolutely perfect.
But he's been playing great as a game manager. That's all he needs to be is a game manager.
Yeah.
And I say let him rest, or let Breeze rest. Go into the bye week. I think they can win perfectly fine with Teddy Bridgewater. And give those guys a rest. And when you come back out of that bye week, you got Drew Brees fully healthy, and you don't have to worry about him taking unnecessary hits.
Right.
And then you gear up for the Super Bowl.
And you look at it that way. You look at it this way: is in case Drew Brees gets hit again. Okay, now Bridgewater's nice and rested, and he's
Right.
got the experience he needs to carry you out through the rest of the
That's why I
season.
say rest them and let them come back after the bye week.
I'm
But
with
either case, I'm going New Orleans in this game.
Let's put it this way, though, guys. We can fucking water cooler this all we want about playing Teddy. If Drew Brees steps in that stadium and says he can go, he's going.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about
Sean
it.
Payton says it's a game time decision.
Sean Payton's full of fucking shit.
Well,
All right, he's posturing you, John. He might even lie to you. He might have spread the fake news to you.
I
Okay?
really think they're blowing smoke up people's ass. Dude, sitting Drew Brees one more week isn't gonna hurt them a bit.
Not at all.
No, correct. I mean, I totally agree with that.
Help him than hurt him.
I think you're absolutely right. And
What?
We'll see.
No.
So we all going Saints?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We go Saints.
So Indian Broncos. This should be an easy one. We're all going Broncos. Nah, Indy's just way too much for Denver right now.
And the fact that it's only 5.5 is really weird to me as well.
I'm good with there. I'm good right there. I think
Denver's getting better.
Denver's playing
getting
tight
better.
games.
Yes.
Denver's playing tight games.
If they're playing in Denver, I would give Denver more of a chance. But still, I think I'd still go Indy.
Yep.
As we said, Indy's playing more sound ball. They're more balanced team.
I start to think about this in Denver, and it's tough because I like Vic Fangio just as much as you guys do. I think he's a very good coach. I think he's a big.
I think he's on the opposing team. I don't give a fuck about him.
There you are, John. Way to go, buddy. You teach everybody that logic, okay? But Vic Fangio, I think it's such a tough situation because this Denver team for me is just going fucking nowhere, and they're going nowhere in a fucking hurry. There's nothing that gets you fucking going in Denver. Like you can't get me out of bed for Philip Lindsay. You can't get me out of bed for Cortland Sutton. You have nothing fucking else on
Joe
offense.
Flacco.
Like Bradley Chubb a lot. Like Von Miller a lot. Von Miller's days are numbered. But it's just a team. It's just stagnant. Poor Vic Fangio just screams stagnant, and I think he's got 3 years and he's gone. But I'm going Indy in this game.
See, I disagree with you on the Fangio. I think what he's doing right now, he realized he inherited a team that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Good defense, decent defense, horrible offense, and I think that's why he made the trade with Emmanuel Sanders. And I think he wants to get some of that equity back so he can do better in the draft or some trade.
Oh, he's starting to build. This is him building.
Yeah, and
this is him starting to build the blocks.
And I think that's his selling point is like give me a chance to rebuild this like we did
Good point.
in Chicago.
Right.
And even in 49ers, he had to be a part of that rebuild.
Good point.
So I think he'll be okay if they give him if Elway lets him do what he needs to do.
Sure.
But I think Elway's one of those guys that gets his hands in too many things, and that's what causes problems.
Absolutely. Because if he fails with, I think John Elway is going to be fired very soon. So go ahead.
Could be a possibility, and be replaced with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
I could totally see that.
I thought I'll be honest with you.
Be Papa John's at halftime.
If you had told me Peyton Manning was the next GM of the Jets before they hired Douglas, I wouldn't have been surprised. I've heard he's very prepared to go into the front office for a
That's
team.
what I thought. Like I would love to see Peyton Manning as a coach, but I think he's going to go straight to the front office.
Yeah. This is the game of the week coming up, gentlemen.
San Francisco 49ers versus the Carolina Panthers.
In San Fran, so long fucking travel from Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, to San Francisco, California.
No altitude change,
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. But Kyle Allen finally gets that confidence this week. I want to reiterate that point. It's a huge thing that this week it was Kyle Allen will be starting, not Cam Newton is hurt. Okay, and that leads me to believe, like, as we had talked about, we beat to death earlier, a potential trade.
But this 49ers defense is pretty good.
The 49ers defense is very good, and it's a cast of kind of clusterfuck of who are you and how am I type thing. You know a couple of the guys, and the rest of them they're just performing, and So that being said.
Which team do you buy into? Which team do you buy into? That's what we all want to know.
I'm buying into the 49ers more than I am the Panthers.
I'm buying into both, but I'm going to go in this game with the 49ers. At home, Eman Sands, huge addition. They wanted him for this game. They specifically made that trade in
they
addition
just
to
got
bring
him
him
today.
in.
There's no way he's playing.
He'll be fine. He'll play.
5 plays?
I think he makes an impact, though. I love this San Francisco
he's a
team.
veteran.
I love Kyle Shanahan.
This
I
kid's a
love Kyle Shanahan and what he's done out there.
Emmanuel Sanders could come in and play right away, and I think he could be productive, and he's going to play a lot more than 5 plays because he is a veteran. He knows certain routes, and they're just going to use him in those certain plays. And
even if just five and cross.
Even if it's just
fine with
taking
me.
a double team, you know what I mean, and utilizing that other safety with the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he's that much of a distraction that why not throw him in that game? And he's been around the league long enough that he could pick up and move.
Chicken is preaching what a lot of fantasy players and especially daily guys should be thinking about. And especially this game, and I know people say Luke Kuechly, but this is a huge game to give George Kittle the start because you're looking at exactly what Chicken said. You've got a multifaceted backfield, okay, that has many different options, many different weapons they can throw at you. Then you have Eman Sands, as Chicken said, pulling, probably going to get some respect. He's going to give him respect. And obviously George Kittle get his respect, but Kittle's always poised to go off. And I think he could have a really big game this week for San Francisco against Carolina. I think this is going to be a great 34-27 game. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go San Francisco. I love fucking Garoppolo. I love Kyle Shanahan. And good for San Francisco.
And I feel like San Fran, this is the closest to a statement game they've played so far.
Yes.
And I feel like because they've been disrespected so much, because you talk about the Saints and you talk about the Patriots and you talk about all these other teams, but they're still undefeated. But nobody's giving them love. When we gave up our top NFC teams, like they were like,
the thing, I don't want to give them love. I really want to pick Carolina, but when the fucking line opens up at 6.5, I've got to play it smart here and pick San Fran.
And that's why I feel like San Fran is like, this is our challenge.
I really want to pick Carolina. Everything in me says pick Carolina.
Go with your gut. Mm-hmm. Go with your gut.
I also think, too.
But with a 6.5 point line, I can't. Logically, no. I'm going to sit here and spout a bunch of shit reasons why you should pick Carolina.
I was ready to do it, John.
At the end of this conversation, I'm picking San Fran.
I was ready to do
Matt Nagy in us. Like you just don't know what to do, so you're like, and you overthink it and just.
I was ready, gentlemen. I was ready to go Carolina here. I was prepared to do it, but I can't get over the hump of what I think this offense is, what they've been doing. Yes, last week was a tough week in the rain, in the slop, in Washington. I don't really read too much into it. But
you know what? That says more of a statement about San Fran. Even with the shittiest weather on the road, they still fucking manned up and got a W.
Yeah.
They did what they had to do to win. That says more about it.
I haven't been a 49ers buyer. I felt like they got a little lucky here. They played some crappy teams there and blah blah blah. But
But Carolina hasn't beat anybody that makes me want to fucking run through the
and that's why I like this
them.
game. If 49ers take care of Carolina and they beat Carolina, I give them another grade up. And I still don't put them with New Orleans.
Right.
Even though they got a better record in New Orleans. But I just feel like for me to believe in San Fran, like this game here will make me closer to believing in them. But until they lose, I got to put them right up there at the top, like with New Orleans and a few of these other teams. I don't feel like they're on the same level as New Orleans and New England, but until they prove otherwise, you kind of got to put them in that discussion. And Carolina really hasn't showed me
what
much.
kills me is you've just shied away from Green Bay in that conversation. Not buying into Green Bay yet?
No,
Really?
I'm not. Not in the long run.
Destroyed fucking Oakland last week.
Yeah, in the long run, I just feel like I'm not buying Green Bay.
All right. I'm picking San Fran. I'm playing the smart move, playing a smart play. I'm not going to fall behind a game by you guys.
Fuck off.
So we're all going San Fran?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to move on to Houston Texans and Oakland Raiders. Houston at home. Oakland's coming off that bad loss you were just mentioning against Green Bay.
And Houston coming off the loss to Indy.
Yep.
Houston, they may have lost, but they did everything that, great wide receivers, great defense.
Trap game.
No.
Trap.
I don't
No.
think so. If
No.
they had won
If
last
anything,
week, maybe.
the Cleveland New England is a trap game. If anything.
Trap game. This could be a trap game. Quietly, Oakland has just been going about their business.
I'll give you that. Oakland's not
I
as bad
think
as we think they are.
Watson is the difference maker in this game. Will it be? Could it be close? Yep. But I really Watson. He's too much.
Tough to go on the road.
I don't think
Tough
Oakland.
to go on the road.
I don't think Oakland can handle their offense. The Houston offense, like I feel like Oakland's offense can give Houston some fits, but I don't think the Oakland defense can match up against Houston.
I agree.
Trap game.
No,
So you're going Oakland?
I'm not going Oakland. I'm going to Houston.
piece of shit. Who does that?
You're a piece of shit, John. That was brought to you by EGA.
Wow. So all three of us are going Houston.
Yep.
Let's go into New England and Cleveland.
Now this is a trap game.
Nah.
Oh, I know.
I want to just check this out here quick, gentlemen, because this is something that's really intriguing me. The point differential of New England's wins this year is almost fucking staggering. Mm-hmm. Okay, so week 1, 33-3, so 30 points, 43-0. So 40. We're up 73. They beat the Jets by 16. We're up 79. Beat the Bills by 6, 85. Beat the Redskins by 26. We're at over 110. Beat the Giants by 21. We're over 140. Beat the Jets by 33. We're over 175 is the number. Is the point differential number.
But what I want to hear
That's
all
fucking
the
stupid.
cumulative wins out of the teams that they play.
Okay, but at the same time you still have to go out and win the game.
See,
We've talked
they're
about
not
that.
Squeaking by these shitty teams. They're blowing them out
As
of
they
the
should.
water.
I mean, New England's on a whole different level than these teams. I mean,
Right.
you're talking about cellar dwellers.
They blew the fucking
Sure.
doors off a
I'm not saying
Steelers
England's-
team that was supposed to be good.
But the Steelers team, it hasn't been good all
Yeah, week 1 they were fully healthy.
and they still sucked.
Exactly. So
Like, they've been in trouble since the beginning of the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not saying New England's bad in any way. I just feel like they haven't really been challenged as much.
Mayfield playing?
Yeah, why would you play?
He was hurt. He's been dealing. Mayfield's
I
been
got-
dealing with an injury here.
And I think like with,
He is not on the injury report.
Thank you.
I don't think Cleveland can out-coach New England. I feel like
Nobody can fucking outcoach
I
New
feel like
England.
this is one
Chicken.
of those games that like New England's gonna cat and mouse them for a little bit and then just blow their doors.
Chicken. Name one coach that's outcoached
Love it
Bill
when
Belichick.
chicks do that to me.
Name one. Name one.
I'll tell you one.
I can't. What are you gonna say, Lovie Smith?
No,
I'm kidding.
I don't think you ever outcoached anybody.
Oh.
Doug Peterson in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I can
Belichick,
respect that.
Belichick.
That's he doesn't have his number though.
No, but in that game he outcoached
Good point.
Belichick.
One.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? You don't go into a game to outcoach Bill Belichick. You go in to coach your team and give your team the best chance to win because you're never going to
What about Tom Coughlin?
You're never going to outsmart Bill Belichick.
What
He
about
didn't outsmart Bill
Twice.
Belichick.
Twice defensively, yeah, they did.
Do you want to talk about my argument about Eli Manning again and talk about how I think he actually is good because you're making my points for me?
No, I'm saying
Okay.
that defense was great. So, anyways, anybody going with Cleveland?
No.
I'm going New England.
Yeah,
Patriots, please.
they're at home. Cleveland's Cleveland.
I have got one away team circled. My goodness.
I got two. Seattle and Giants.
And it's
I have 4.
Here you go, Sil. This might be changing.
This could change, yes.
Kansas City versus the Packers. Packers are
Oh man,
Kansas City.
we're gonna have to make this off a fucking Pat Mahomes call here. This is a tough Thursday night call for us here.
That's why it's tough, is because of Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is listed as doubtful. He's
Think
moving
he
around better
plays.
while doing individual drills at Thursday's practice.
So did he?
Does Matt Moore have enough to?
Matt Moore is not listed as, I know, right? Well,
No, he
that's the
doesn't.
thing. You've got an okay KC defense who's pretty much only stepped up once this year in the games they've played. Taking on a high-powered Green Bay offense, and the Green Bay defense has been decent. If I comparing the two defenses, I'd say Green Bay's defense is better than Kansas City's. So now you got two high-powered offenses. I
can get on board with that a little bit.
Any big injuries for? Well, you got a couple of questionable.
Do we have the Green Bay receivers coming back? That was a huge. I mean, I think they all ended up playing last week. We're
Jimmy
all good
Graham's
to go.
questionable.
Okay, he's playing then.
Valdez Scantling questionable. Devontae
He'll
Adams
play.
questionable. Was held out of practice Thursday, which probably
Might
means
not
he's
play.
Playing. Center Lindsley is out of practice today due to a back issue.
I'm gonna go. Oh, man, this is tough. I'm going Green Bay because I'm not gonna roll the fucking dice. I need wins. I'm not gonna roll the fucking dice on Pat Mahomes playing or not playing. And I also.
The smart move is keep him out. The smart move is keep
Is
him
it,
out.
though?
Regardless of who you're playing, keep him out. When is their bye week? Because
Is it smart though? You're 5-2 in your team.
You got a week
You're on a
12 bye
2-game
week.
skid. 2-game skid. You're on a 2-game skid.
No, they just won last week.
You're right. So you're 1-2 in your last 3.
I'm going to go with Kansas City because they are playing in Kansas City. They're playing Arrowhead. Arrowhead is a tough place to play. That's a good crowd. You want to talk about a crowd that
It's the loudest stadium, like guys have said consistently.
loudest stadium, but they're actually not jackasses over there. They're actually a quality crowd.
this is one of those things. Does the rest of the team step up when they're missing Mahomes?
And I think they will. I think when Moore
the
came
chips
in-
are down?
When Moore came in, granted it was against Denver, but in Green Bay, I mean, I think Denver has a little bit better of a defense in Green Bay, but they have like pretty much no offense. But I think this team is built where a guy like Matt Moore could come in and facilitate. He might not be as gaudy as Patrick Mahomes and put up those crazy numbers and do all the stuff, but he showed that he can actually make this offense still move. And to come in and replace a guy like Mahomes, which is completely hard because it's like coming and replacing Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You got skill sets that's just not humanly possible, like normal people. And so you're going from like superhuman to, an average human.
Right.
But I just feel like they got more pieces there.
I'm going to make you feel better. The line opened up at KC -4. It switched to Green Bay -3.5.
I'm going Kansas City. I don't know what you're going to do.
I'm really tossing this around. Did you pick already? You picked Green Bay?
Yes.
I'm thinking, you know what? They've ridden the high horse for a little too long. I'm thinking a down week for Aaron Rodgers and the crew. I'm going KC. I'm going to go with everybody steps up around him, and all they should have to do just enough to win.
I don't believe in Matt Moore for a second.
But I believe in Andy Reid. I believe Andy Reid knows that he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes back there, and I know he.
So you're predicting a lot of like if it is Moore, it's going to be a lot of
LaShawn McCoy.
conservative trick plays. Conservative, like kind of dingy danging, like a lot of like, different plays.
Actually, this might be the most conservative game we see all year out of KC.
It could be.
Yeah, you're kind of like your Tyreek Hill jet sweeps, and you're kind of throwing the teams off and stuff like that.
Kelsey, I think Kelsey's going to be a big part of this game.
It's a good point. That's a great point too. I think Travis Kelce would be a big part of this game.
The injuries scare me a little bit in Green Bay, so that's another thing to weigh in.
Quietly too, by the way.
But they always have that next man up mentality. So
Aaron Jones in Green Bay has scored a lot of fucking touchdowns this year. He had 4 in a game. So I'm going Green Bay. We'll see.
right.
I mean,
Okay.
if Pat Mahomes plays, fuck me.
He's not. He's not. Don't
But
count on
I
it.
would love to have seen, like I said, a healthy Patrick Mahomes playing this game because again, like we said with Delvin Cook against Adrian Peterson, like to see him look over there and see Aaron Rodgers, and you want to show up at, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see that
Now,
matchup.
my question is, where will you gentlemen be Monday night for the unbelievable matchup that we have Monday night?
I'm not getting stuck at.
Miami Dolphins. Yeah,
You're
it'll
going up again.
stand you up again. I'm sorry, my pitch game went long again too. By the way,
I thought you were more of a catcher.
you played that joke in the group chat, okay, and it flopped there too. All right.
That was funnier.
Because it's true. This game is like,
It's just like
I mean, I got to go with Steelers because Miami hasn't showed a damn
I'm
thing.
going Steelers as well.
Just because they
Yeah.
are the Steelers, but
anybody else? Can you spell it? TRAP?
No, oh come on, nope.
Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm
That's
not
a
doing it.
14-point.
I'm not
fucking
doing
line.
it, but don't you think, like, wouldn't it be like kind of like something like if you're Brian Flores in Miami, you get the fucking boys going, like, hey, we're gonna go, we're playing Monday night fucking football. I feel like if you're a football player, like there's like I know you get fired up for every game, but if there's something you can fucking get fired up for, it's the bright lights
Now,
of Monday Night
if
Football.
these guys were playing again, if Miami was playing the 49ers, or they were playing, who's another unbeaten? Well, New England, that ain't happening.
So can we have the injury report for
But,
this
but
game?
Miami always
Yep.
is. They always
1
like to
second.
play spoiler
Yeah.
to that team that's undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that with the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, because they're not very good. So, but I still feel like the Steelers are better than the Dolphins. I feel like the Steelers are going to use this game as, hey, we're not that bad.
Oh, so who do you want? Steelers?
Who's under center
For-
Pittsburgh? Is it going to be Rudolph?
There's no center. There's no. Oh shit! There's no QB on the injury report.
So it's Mason Rudolph. He'll
Yeah.
start. No shit. I mean, it makes me feel a little bit more better about my Pittsburgh pick than fucking Devlin Hodges. You?
Yeah, but I mean,
Good and you? Like, that fucking
Miami,
guy. Yeah.
Miami can't get out of their own way.
And I think Miami is going to stay. Who's the fucking quarterback there? Pick a name. Anybody? Rosen, Fitzpatrick. Anybody know? Is it Fitzpatrick
I
still?
think it's Fitzrosen.
Yeah, right? Who knows? Another
Yeah,
great fucking Monday night game.
Yeah, that one's like, what gave them?
What gave them the right? No.
I mean, like when they looked at this game, I mean, Miami didn't do anything last year. They didn't do anything the year before.
A new head coach. These two teams always, when they play each other, have pretty good
Yeah,
games.
but I mean, Miami hasn't shown anything.
Why does it seem like every week? Because we play against.
Like Carolina and
3 and
San
out.
Fran.
We play against 3 and out. Why does it seem like every fucking week Pittsburgh is one of their picks? To me it seems like
Well, because Pittsburgh gets a lot of night games because they have such a huge.
Because rock and roll's whispering into Masucci and Ray Nation's ear.
Well, I mean,
Steelers.
Pittsburgh's got such a huge fan base, so like anytime you put Pittsburgh on at a night game, they're going to get a lot of
Sure.
people watching.
Yeah.
Except for this year, when even the Pittsburgh Steelers fans are so disgusted at what they're seeing that
injuries happen, man.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
that's
they
the
were
way of
already,
football.
They were already in a deep shit before the injuries even happened.
Older team.
2-4. You're 2-4. I mean,
Yeah, but you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, you're toast. You're toast, but you can still be. I mean, if you told me that Mason Rudolph would be able to go 8-8, if he finished the season 8-8, that's pretty fucking impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive, and it gives you hope for the future.
Not in the Steelers. Not in the Steelers.
I mean, Chicken, you got to Chicken, you got to take when these injuries happen, you have to take W somewhere. You
When
can't
was the
just.
last-
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, it's not impressive, like because we're talking about just simply the name.
last bad Steelers team you remember?
Bubby Brister.
Tommy Maddox.
Right, you have to go back like almost freaking 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And it was only like a blip in time that they were bad. Like
because they've had their franchise quarterback for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. I mean, they've had it. Ben Roethlisberger's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Even with Cordell Stewart and Charlie Batch, they were
Cordell Stewart.
Neil O'Donnell,
Yeah, Neil O'Donnell. Right.
who made Larry Brown's career. You remember that?
That's a Super Bowl.
One last thing I just want to touch on quick, and then I'll sign off for myself. But interesting, awesome thing. Very excited about it. I'm a huge NFL draft fan. I love watching the draft. I know it's kind of fucking really boring and stuff like that. It's fun for me. My buddies and I make a game out of it. It's cool. So very exciting. Going to be in Vegas in 2020. All right, they've been moving the draft around. It's going to be in Las Vegas with the new team there. I think it's going to be a really fucking cool atmosphere. So it's something. It's a cool thing, NFL really helping people out. Ever since they moved it from Radio City, it's really found like these like it had it in Tennessee and Nashville, and the fans were loving it. Mm-hmm. So it's a cool thing. I love the Vegas move.
Yeah,
so
I'm okay with them moving it around. Everybody should get the chance to experience it without having to fucking travel across the country.
Mm-hmm. And John, could you just for everybody out there, just for my sanity, just let everybody know what you drank tonight?
Utica Club, the area's finest Pilsner lager beer in a gold can.
Do you know the first beer sold after Prohibition?
Right.
I've heard that somewhere, yes.
It's actually written on a can.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you read from a script.
Son of a...
1 second, shuffling through the papers. Gentlemen, it's my pleasure this week.
Yeah, I mean, both our teams took a dump on the field this week, but hopefully we can bounce back and actually come back tomorrow, next week. Feel a little better. Well, next week is Halloween.
So manic depression.
I think we should dress up. For Halloween.
All right.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, do you have to take the little ones probably trick or treating, huh?
Is that next Thursday?
Wait, you don't have to put a sign out front of your house?
No.
Oh no.
Is that next Thursday?
Yes,
is Halloween next Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that
we're gonna have to talk. Stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna have to talk and figure something out and see what we're gonna do.
Yes, I have to take my kids trick or treating, dude.
Yeah, it's daddy duty.
That's a fact.
I just got a puppy, so.
Well, you just got to make sure you bring some candy for the rest.
You just give me a reality check, Caleb.
Yeah. He's got to go daddy duties.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you.
Yes, we will see you next week on the D-line. When will be Halloween? So we'll see you guys next week.
Wait.
Bye.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at NyeVWofRome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.